Hey y'all. Sorry y'all, I was in the background asking ChatGPT from its purview what purpose do black men's existence serve, because y'all, I've been trying to figure it out. I can't. I'm gonna let y'all know that now. I've been trying to figure out, honestly, because you know, when I ask the question to y'all, I attempt to answer the question myself. I do. When I ask it to anybody else, I try to answer that same question. And this time, when I asked that question, I literally hit up against a brick wall. Oh, let me plug in my laptop and then we'll get started. We'll go live on YouTube. And yeah, we'll do everything that we plan to do with that. Y'all, before I jumped on here, I went to go explore and try to find, you know, like Caribbean food restaurants and soul food restaurants, just trying to see generally what's in the area. I came across this one place, but it's more Louisiana focused than anything. But I ended up getting some fried oysters and some Brussels sprouts and some fries. Because that's, other than the gumbo, that's the only thing on the menu that they had that I was interested in. I don't really eat catfish. And I don't eat tilapia because tilapia is not even real fish. So, yeah. But the stuff is okay. Right, Divine, that's really, that is the better question. You're absolutely right. What purpose do they subjugated black men serve in a white male patriarchal system? But we already know the answer to that. Based off the question, the answer will be anything that the white man tell them to do. That's what purpose he would serve. Essentially, his purpose and what it serves will be up to white men to determine. But we're going to go over some other topics too while we wait for people to come up and tell us what purpose do black men's existence serve. I'll even put it as a call in so people can jump on if they want to, and they can just kind of tell us what beyond genetic material. Obviously, we already know at this current point right now the primary way in which procreation is done is through direct sexual contact with a man. So other than genetic material, which it would be the obvious one, we would then ask what purpose does their existence serve? And we can definitely put that in the title too. We can put the call in. So we'll do that. Let me do this. Yeah, because then they can just take the link and they can come up here and we can kind of just have a discussion, although we don't usually ever get to really have a discussion about what these bandits are doing. We almost never get to really have a discussion on that. And so, I guess this time probably won't be much different. Because usually with the black community does like to ignore these type of questions because they don't even, and they're going to ignore them mostly because they don't even want to think about having to answer. Because when I ask the question or put the prompt up, it's not even so people can actually answer. They can actually answer if they want to, but it's mostly so that people will think about what they're being asked. It's to provoke thought. You know, like asking certain questions will get you to think. And even the pick-me's, listen, even the pick-me's, they're going to think about it. They're literally, their brain is going to think about it. Whether they want to answer it or not, somewhere in their brain, when you ask the question, if they even see the question, their brain is going to start thinking of what these males' existence serve, what purpose it served. And they're going to either do one of two things. They're either going to just completely dismiss it, or they're going to lie and say black men are doing things that they're actually not doing. Or they're going to pull to history to where the only time black men are recorded to have done something, but none of it is going to be anything within the last 100 years. Like, it's just not. Like, they not going to bring up anything outside of the last 100 years. And that's because nothing can be brought up except stuff that happened within the last 100 years. So that's what we over here dealing with. That's exactly what we over here dealing with. You said they're going to have to pull all the way. Yeah, they'll have to go all the way to Haiti or ancient Egypt. We know the Haitian Revolution was about 220 years ago. So they would either go to the pyramids, even though these bandits ain't showing no ability at all, just none, just no even basic ability to build even a Lego house, let alone an Egyptian pyramid. And certain things you would see the traits of them. If they were the descendants of these people who set up here and built these pyramids, it would show somewhere in their behavior. It would show somewhere in their mindset. Like, I really feel like it would show. I feel like it would show. Sorry, I'm trying to go over here and change the color to match my shirt. I'm petty. But I wanted to come in here and change the coloring to match my shirt. But, yeah, the bandits don't do nothing. They don't do nothing. Take a shot if they mention the Moors. What was the accomplishment of the Moors? What is the Moors' legacy? That's what I want to know. What is the Moors' legacy that we would be mentioning? Like, because if you're going to say they did something, the Moors did a whole lot for white people. They did a whole lot for white people. They served a huge purpose to white people. But the question would then be, what purpose did they serve to their people? Because their reign wasn't even that long. Treason, exactly. That would be the Moors' legacy. The more, like, what they wanted, they could mention the Moors, but they couldn't really show us any Moorish work. They love saying they built this country as slaves. Like, really, I feel like bragging about what you built when you was a slave for somebody else is just really not a flex. I never saw that at the flex. I never saw that at the flex. Cynthia, I'm definitely not fully settled in. Mostly I am. You're right. Mostly I am. Because if I was to turn the camera around, you would see that I already put the living room together and I have some floating bookshelves behind. It's in front of me, but to y'all it will look behind, but it's actually in front of me. It's in front of me over here because this is the kitchen table. This is the table that I'm sitting at. Dining room table that I'm sitting at, because it's a good spot to do these recordings. But if I was to turn the camera around, because like I said, it's actually behind the camera, but it's in front of me, then you would see how much I did in the living room. So mostly it is, but there's just a couple things that I have to do. But Jasper and Sasha fine. Jasper and Sasha definitely settled in. Sasha settled in under my bed upstairs. That's where she currently is. And Jasper is his jovial, all over the place, tail up and curved in a friendly manner self. Like, Jasper's tail is always on friendship. Like, his is always open. Sasha's, no. Sasha's upstairs hiding somewhere, so can't nobody bother her. The devil statue had a white girl and a black boy. Black males have been helping the devil. That's the reason for the black boy on the statue. It matches the book, Destruction of Black Civilization. Yeah, and that could be simply positioned as a reminder of what they've been able to contact. Sorry, I took that out. I thought that was water. I thought that was water. I put some of it in Jasper's water bowl. And then I poured it out. I poured it back out. Because I thought it was water. I usually give them a little bit of water. Like either from the Brita or out the bottom. So sorry. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so that was all me. I'm going to go ahead and take accountability for that. Because I did do that. I did. Thank y'all for the compliments. I just decided to wear this yellow shirt. I mean, this morning it was cold, but now it's warming up a bit. It's just in the 70s, but it was cold in the morning. And it was actually cold in the house. So I wanted to wear something. And it's still cooler in the house, but it's a little warm. Like, I could easily get hot in this being in the house, but it's cooler outside now. It is. But all right, let's get us built up on, let's put us public on YouTube. We'll do that. I always love coming on here, congregating with y'all first, and I try to see it as our little private moment, but it's not going to be private once the live stream is public, because people will just go back and watch the playback and then see everything that we said, which is why usually when we do the live streams on YouTube, I still keep everything. When we do the Friday live streams, I like to keep everything PC, because I mean it's still it's on YouTube. And they seem to trip the most on the live content that everybody is seeing, not so much on the unlisted links. But yeah, so we'll just let people come in, and hopefully, yeah, I really like the commune time, LH. I really do. I really do. That's why I'm kind of going back and forth on, do I want to do another public day on YouTube, or do I just want to, I mean, I guess we'll discuss that on Patreon. We'll discuss that, and then we'll kind of see what we think is maybe like the best thing, because I kind of wanted to, but then I'm kind of like, I just really don't want to be on YouTube like that. It's like, I just really don't want to be on YouTube like that. And I know they're going to, especially in this political climate, they're going to start hyping up the censorship more than it already is. And so I'm just like, actually, authentically, Erica, look, your notification came in quickly. If you got the notification now, then it actually came in quickly. Because we weren't public on YouTube initially. We were on Patreon. So your notification would have actually came in very quick. If you just got it and we just made it public, that means it came in quick. You're not late, Toy Elise. You're actually right on time. You are right on time. Because again, that's why I said we congregate on Patreon first. So it wouldn't be... Oh, Cynthia, you said you joined Costco. You just joined Costco and you can't wait to go for the first time. You enjoy your Costco trip, girl, and get those free samples too. I just had to make a Costco run the other day. I really did. I had to get like some kitty litter, and what else did I get? What else did I? Because I thought I got a kitty litter and something else. I can't remember what else I got though. Because I had some, I spent over $200. You would think I would know. Like, how you have a $200 Costco bill, over $200. It's $228 actually. But it's like, how do you have a $200 Costco bill and you don't know what you spent? And that's the thing. Black men be out here complaining about child support, and their child support wouldn't even cover even half of a Costco run. Like, not even half of one Costco run. They child support wouldn't even, like, it just wouldn't even do that. Well, no, Queen Zinga, you have to realize Costco you buy in bulk. But Costco also have furniture and stuff, so it's really easy to go in Costco and spend $200 in like 2 minutes, because they have, yeah, it's and $200 doesn't take you that far. Like, it don't even take you that far. Like, $200 now takes you almost nowhere. Like you getting probably what, 1, 2 bags. You probably get 1.5, maybe 2 bags of groceries at Safeway for $220. And you ain't about to get 2 full bags at Safeway either. You about to get 2 somewhat full bags at Safeway. You're buying dried organic mangoes and shrimp cocktail. Like what? No, you could buy much more than that at Costco. They got much more than that. Yep, toilet paper, spinach, eggs, paper towels. Like, oh yeah, I got laundry detergent. I did get laundry products there. I do like to buy multiple of theirs. I bought like maybe 3. I think I got 3 cases of kitty litter because they max you out at 3. But I like the clumping kind. Whatever the brand is better than Costco's because it clumps more. So I think a scoop away is what it is. Toilet paper, a pack of chicken, and 2 12-ounce frozen vegetables. Right. Oh, Maxita, you said Costco overstimulates me, is way too busy. Yeah, it is busy. It usually, if I'm in there for too long, if I'm in Costco for too long, it aggravates my anxiety either. Speaking of which, I actually need to take the anxiety medicine before I get to tripping on y'all. Because it's like I'm telling y'all, like y'all see a much calmer me, and that's because I got that anxiety where it needs to be. Because, yeah, those times me spazzing out on here, no, it was because bandits were driving my anxiety up. So, and if you have bad anxiety, you are going to spaz out if somebody is causing your anxiety to go haywire with their energy. And bandits tend to have very chaotic, dishonest energy. So even when they come on a panel, if you don't have the camera turned off where there's some kind of barrier between you and the BS, you go get the BS. You wear earbuds when you go shopping. I wear 1 earbud when I go shopping, but you can't afford, if there's males around you, how are you affording to have 2 earbuds in your ear and you in the proximity of some men? No, you got to be hyper vigilant while these men are out here. No, we about to talk about Charlie Kirk again. Don't get it twisted. We about to talk about Charlie Kirk again. So, we go probably revisit this Charlie Kirk situation more than one time, because y'all need to understand they about to put some legislation on Charlie's name. If y'all think they not, then they are. They about to put some legislation on his name. Exactly. Tanya Harvey, you got to stay ready. And so whenever I'm around out in public and there's a heavy presence of men, and especially black men, because black men tend to be the most chaotic. The thing is with white men and black men is a word called discipline. So white men are more disciplined with their chaos than black men are, because black men are completely, like, they tend to act completely unhinged. No type of emotional regulation. Whatever they feeling in that moment is what you go get, because they don't know how to control their emotions. They really don't. White men know how to be more calculated than black men do. They understand more that there's a time and a place for everything. So they know that if I need to act cordial and civilized over here so that someone doesn't see me coming, then let me go over here and act cordial and civilized. Keep in mind the profile of a sociopath, a serial killer. It's a white man for a reason. And as a part of that profile, they say you would never expect them to be what they are. That right there tells you already white men move differently with their chaos. The fact that when they build these profiles, it's usually a man that you least suspect. They'll tell you this. A man that was well liked in the community, a man who had on a certain type of mask. They built these profiles off of white men, not black men. We do need to understand that these profiles were built based on white male behavior. But I say that to say that if within the profile of these people is that you wouldn't suspect them to be the criminal, that right there tells you that they move a little different than black men. Because there are certain things that you can say, there's certain ways that crimes are committed where you gonna know in your mind automatically that's a black man. Did you see the footage about the lady in Chicago that was unalived by her bandit baby daddy, other baby mama? So you mean Romika Meeks? Yeah, we talked about her already. We already talked about, and we'll talk about her again too. And we gonna end up talking to her about her again. There's no real new news on it, so we're not gonna talk about it today. But yeah. And I want to say something. So I want to take something away that, well, modify it. Because when I came on here last time we went live, I think it was last Friday, I said that black women weren't doing anything and black women weren't being vocal in this movement. And they are. They just over there on TikTok doing it. like I didn't realize black women are definitely being vocal, but on TikTok. They mostly on TikTok doing it. When I tell you black women are giving Christians the business on TikTok, they are giving them the business. And the business that they need to be giving them. They giving the business that they need to be giving them. Black women going in on TikTok. They really are. They really are. And me, I couldn't really get into the TikTok thing. I really couldn't. I couldn't get into TikTok in terms of putting content on there. But I'm saying, listen, black women are on TikTok getting it in. Yeah, they on there getting it all the way in. Now, I don't know what TikTok is about to let y'all do once the U.S. take it over. But, yeah, I was wrong on that. Black women on TikTok getting it all the way in. They are. And I've seen a number of different videos. Because all of the content that I've seen on Romika Mills is not from ladies on YouTube. The ladies on TikTok is putting all that information out. And most of them, vast majority of them are black women. You said you know a few black women handling business on TikTok. Yeah, they are. So my bad to black women. Black women are on TikTok getting it in. For that sector of black women, they on there getting it in. There is a percentage of them. Yeah, no, Kirk done graduated himself to worm food status, just like Samuels did. So hopefully Samuels and Kirk is now in the underworld, helping each other out. Helping each other to feed those worms. So you can serve a purpose in death that you just did not serve in life. But let's talk about this man, Charlie Kirk, though. Let's talk about it again, though. Because here's the thing. There's a lot of people who are making comments on it. And I want y'all to hear what Beckisha had to say. Because I actually think I kind of agree with Beckisha here a little bit. I don't think she Beckisha. So this is corporate Becky. So we ain't going to call her Beckisha. Beckisha is the one that likes to slum with low-tier bandits and thinks she got a prize. When in reality, she got a problem. But this Beckisha here, while we waiting for somebody to come up and tell us what purpose black men's existence serve, because as y'all come in, I want y'all to understand that we're talking about these topics in between people having the ability to come up here and tell us what purpose do black men's existence serve? Because beyond aiding white supremacy to maintain its power, one of those ways, by way of creating a population of confused biracials, black men serving a whole huge purpose to white men. They're serving a huge purpose to white men. But I would like to know, and we ain't covering nothing more that got to do with Amber Rose. I just want y'all to know. We not doing anything that got Amber Rose on it. We go swipe past it. We're just not going to entertain idiots. And Amber Rose is one of those people. They're just one of those people. But I want y'all to listen to what this lady has to say about Charlie Kirk. Because what we see white supremacists doing is running around threatening various different groups of people. They seem emboldened. I think they think they're emboldened and they're above the law. I think they forgot that they still have flesh. Like other humans do. flesh that can be set on fire, flesh that could be penetrated by multiple different things. So, which nobody's calling for anybody to do anything other than defend themselves. There's groups of people who are sitting up, literally making threats against you. And I think you should utilize your rights, specifically the Second Amendment one. Should somebody try to run up on you, to blame you for something that a white man done set up here and did. They said a man was fatally shot by an ICE officer in Chicago. So I want y'all to understand this is the hell realm that we in. Y'all don't have to believe it, but I believe it. So Charlie Kirk said black women do not have the brain processing power to be taken serious. Now he has no power or no life to be taken serious at all. You have to steal a white person's slot. I don't know how that happens, but I mean, again, this is coming from a man who wasn't even a college graduate, mind you. So I won't entertain no black person that come over here and talks about speaking ill of the dead. Y'all can, like, honestly, y'all can keep that somewhere else. Really, y'all can. That's not anything to come and say to somebody like me. Because I'm going to tell y'all I'm saying what I'm saying, and I double down on what I say, and y'all know I stand firm on what I say, and I'm not going to change it for nobody at all. The only time my mind would even remotely change is if I want to change it. And so I'm going to say this. The bottom line about this thing is that the way in which Charlie Kirk was taken out was his preference. It just is what it is. He was taken out by white MAGA. Yeah, this was an inside job, an inside MAGA job. So that's what he would have preferred it. He wouldn't have wanted to be taken out by a trans person. He wouldn't have wanted to be taken out by a black woman or a black man or an immigrant or LGBTQ. He wouldn't have wanted to be taken out by any of those people. So the person who took him out, and we gonna show this person who took him out, because this literally is MAGA on MAGA violence. So they need to go within their own community. They need to go within their own community, and they need to figure out what's going on. You don't need to be looking at nobody else's community. You need to focus on why this is actually the person who took out Charlie Kirk. He's 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. His father reportedly turned him in after he allegedly confessed to the assassination. Confessed, it was probably more like bragged about it. Because this dude was unapologetic. They said he literally said he would do it again. And I believe that he would. So, according to the Daily Mail, Robinson was turned in by his own father, Mark Robinson, after he allegedly confessed to his parents that he was the gunman in the murder. Parents. I.e., when this bandit Charlie Kirk said that if you want to curb gun violence, just put father than the home. Well, this dude came from that type home, Charlie. He had his father and his mother there. Father's the one who turned him in, actually. So, even posthumously, this dude is getting proven wrong. He said, prove me wrong. And this dude flew in and said, I'm going to prove you wrong on so much of what you said. Because this dude said, I'm him. That's what he said. He said, I'm him. And you 31 got taken out by somebody nearly 10 years younger than you. So Mark, his father, who is a 27-year veteran of the Washington County Sheriff's Department, then contacted authorities to arrest Tyler. So that means they must have been in the part of Utah that kind of borders Washington. Sounds like it. Sounds like they was over there on the border of Washington, which would track because that area is MAGA. That is a MAGA area. The further up in Washington you go, the more hillbilly it gets, starting with Linwood. The further north you go towards Utah, the further north you go is MAGA territory, starting with Linwood. I want y'all to go check into that, because if anybody you could probably go drive through Linwood now and you go see a bunch of MAGA with Confederate flags driving around. as if they were actually a part of the Confederacy. You in the wrong state to even have that Confederate flag. You in the state that would have been fighting against you. That's what you would have been. You was in Washington County Sheriff's Department. Now, Washington County Sheriff's Department might be in Utah, it might be, but at the end of the day, it's given Washington. That's what it's given. Yeah, Utah is a super white state. Of course it is. It's a white Mormon state. It's a white Mormon one. But look, this is who did it. And look at this. I want y'all to listen to this. I really want y'all to listen to this. Because this is dumb thinking to me. Like, I get where this white man is going. I get why he's saying this. But this is stupid thinking. For you to think that this will be anybody other than a straight white MAGA male, that means you ain't been paying attention to society. Never. At no point in time. At no point in time were you ever paying attention to society if you think this will be anybody else than who it was.
You know, this bad stuff happens. And for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for. Just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here.
Look at Cash Patel right here. Yeah, I want y'all to look at Cash Patel and tell me what he looked like to y'all. I just want y'all to. Like, I really just want y'all to. Because this, I get that this is Indian MAGA, so it will fall under Asian MAGA technically, but it's given black MAGA. It's given black MAGA. It's actually what it's given. This to me look like a biracial black man. Now y'all can say what y'all want to say, but this is given biracial MAGA. Is what it's given. Biracial MAGA with a black daddy. I'm just going to say that's what it's given. So I'm going to tell y'all, to the Asian community, y'all know what he is to the Asian community? Who want to guess what he is to the Asian community? Specifically the Indian community. Do y'all want to know what he's regarded as to the Asian community? I want y'all, I really want y'all to just guess what he is to the Indian community. An acre. Yep, he sure is. To the Indian community, use an acre. No, he ain't no brown. He ain't no brown. To the Asian community, he the N word. That's what he is. And they do got, and don't think they don't got they word for it. This is a man who can never be white. Ever. Ever. Nobody is ever given this. No, they do, K. Smith. They have a lot of African lineage. Immediate African lineage, actually. I don't know why they over there in the Asian category. They're really not. Asian is not a race. But yeah, in the Asian world, since that's how they categorize, he's not the same. They will be singing for him, they not like us. Ain't nothing white excepting Cash Patel. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. And he's lucky they ain't told him to go join this black community yet. That's what he's lucky about. Because he's starting to look like he belonged in it. Really. Really. I get that he's Indian. I get what y'all saying. I get that he's Indian. Indian is not a race though. We're gonna have to acknowledge that Indian nor Asian is a race actually. But yeah, so he wanted it to not be an inside job. But it's always an inside job, though. Maxita, you said they call him an untouchable, i.e. a black person. That's what they would call him. Yeah, in their eyes, he's a ninja. That's what he is. That's exactly what he is. You said Nino Brown Patel. Nino Brown Patel, yeah. No, like, for real. This dude could be Genuine's daddy. Like, for real. The singer, Genuine, this could be his daddy. But Yeah, Yasmin, it is a caste system. Literally, the Indian community mirrors the black community when you getting into skin tone. Like, don't separate Indians from black people when you dealing with skin tone. They are the same. And if you think they ain't, go talk to some of them and watch them be saying the same thing. Stay out of the sun. Get advising that they get what's referred to as a whiter Indian. They would be doing the same thing. They'll just tell you, just go find you a white Indian. Don't get with the dark one. Stay out of the sun. Oh, you just go be too dark. Yeah, they do the same thing. They do the same thing. Yep, same thing with Cambodian and Vietnamese. Yeah. I know Dominicans do too. That's because they African descent. All of the people who possess dark skin, who are obviously African descent, because you can't get you melanin from nobody but Africans. That's literally the only place it comes from, but sure. So if you have you melanin in your skin, you are a descendant of an African, whether you want to say it or not. I'm be asking you where you got your you melanin from then, because it didn't come from nobody but that continent. But anyway, they didn't want it to be an inside job, but it's always an inside job. Now you hear them, you just hear quiet. Let's see if some of them are in this comment section noting the fact that this was actually white MAGA. Maggie says South Asia is very colorist. Yeah, the part of Asia that's called the black people who are Asians, yeah, they call it black people. It's like, listen to this. Like, listen to this, because this dude go tell y'all, and again, well, this is a black man, so we would never expect him to fight for himself. Of course, he gonna hand everything over to the internet because he ain't gonna put in no actual work. But what he's saying is true nonetheless.
In fact, I even think that we should bring back, public executions on certain people. No, but think about it. I think that, and you guys should laugh, it should be public, it should be quick, it should be televised. By the way, you could force the government
to watch it.
You could have brought to you by Coca-Cola. And no, I'm not kidding. In fact, I even think that we should bring back, public executions on certain people. No, but think about it. I think that, and you guys should laugh, it should
now,
be
this
public.
dude is, why am I showing this dude? Because this dude is one of the dudes who was threatened by MAGA. So, essentially, what white MAGA did, and I don't know why they thought that this would involve any black man at all. Black men are just not this bold. It's almost like white people believe their own dumb stereotypes about black people, even when they're literally proven to be completely untrue. A black man wouldn't do this. He would be too scary to do it. So I'm going to say it again. Black men don't stand for anything. So there wouldn't be a black man who would do this when doing this is a symbol of something. This dude was trying to send a message. He's sending a message on some business that he's standing on. Black men don't stand on no business except for women's hair and makeup and toiletries. That's it. That's it. That's the only thing they fight. Black men are not known for being able to even bust a grape in a fruit fight. But you sitting up here targeting the weakest group of males on the planet? If you want to bully on these males, just bully on them. Like, don't give us a dumb excuse like you think they did something that takes courage to do. This takes courage and balls to do. Two things that black men don't possess. Yeah, exactly. See, black men are only concerned about black women's hair. They will never initiate no fight with no white MAGA. Like, they not about to do that. We wish. Like, we wish black men were the type that would do that. They not, though. Like, black men are made of certified weak sauce. I don't know who would sit there and think that they would do any of this. The reality is, he just didn't want a white face on it because he didn't want a white face on it. That's the problem. He just, like, here's a better close-up. Because, listen, y'all ain't gonna tell me I ain't looking at no bandit. This is a bandit I'm looking at. Y'all, listen, this is nothing but a bandit. Y'all are not about to tell me this ain't no bandit. Y'all not. This is a damn bandit I'm looking at. Y'all know this is a bandit that y'all looking at.
Just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. You know, this bad stuff happens. And for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for. Just because I thought it would make it easier on us.
Yes, said a black man with a perm, basically.
And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did.
Maxita said a turmeric and cumin bandit, nonetheless. Definitely a bandit, though. Definitely a bandit. Ain't no way you ain't looking at the face of a certified bandit. Right. A nigga with a curry. Y'all stupid. That's a bandit you're looking at.
Here. You know, this bad stuff happens. And for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us.
This man is so mad that white degeneracy is on display once again. It's always on display. Just do what y'all always do and say he the millionth lone wolf. Like, and say the last one, the yesterday, say he a lone wolf too. They act like they can't just go with the lone wolf narrative. Just say he the lone white wolf. Nobody's associated with him, although we know he's MAGA. Just say he a lone white wolf. Simple. Simple. But for you to come up here and have tears in your eyes and say that you was hoping it wasn't a white man from Utah when it's literally always a white man from some state in this country, that just sounds delusional. That sounds delusional. It sounds delusional for you to think it'd be anyone. It's always one of you. Like talking about he had been praying that the person was from another country. Why? Because immigrants are the ones who target Americans the first? No, those are homegrown white men. Those are American homegrown white men who are running around cutting up with guns.
To my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon. To my young friends out there,
it doesn't even matter if he's in custody. He still took your person away. Just white as white can be.
Shooting at Evergreen High School. The call came in at 12:24 today that we had an active shooter at the school. There are so many jurisdictions up here.
And I guarantee you that one is white too, because like we said, it's always white. It just is what it is. It's delusional for anybody to think. Like, even if somebody shoot up anything, you should naturally just assume it's a white man, because it almost always is. If somebody shoot up a school, assume it's a white male, because it almost always is. They're always doing shootouts. Like, what are you talking about?
He didn't deserve it, but he did get what he thought other people deserved. He paid a price that he was willing for other people to pay, that he said was worth them paying in order for him to have certain rights. He gleefully, willfully participated in the escalation of violent identity politics, where he loudly proclaimed that his beliefs should shape other people's work, their rights, their lives. He thought women should be in the kitchen, that young girls should carry their rapist babies, that the genocide in Gaza wasn't real, that the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. He spread misinformation around COVID, compared vaccine mandates to apartheid, and said that empathy is a made-up term. We don't know who did this or why, but it is already being weaponized as a way to rebrand the left, a group that have historically been known as weak, lefty, woke snowflakes, as violent and dangerous and incapable of tolerating an opposition of opinion. This is a turning point we didn't need, and it's going to be used against us in the worst of ways. He didn't deserve it, but...
Yeah, so she's speaking the truth. She really is. And that's why I'm saying, if y'all think, you have to be thinking and understanding that they're gonna, this dude, they about to put some legislation on his name. It just is what it is. Let me drop the link for anybody who wants to come up. The link will be pinned. And so if you want the link, if you want to come up, you can take the link. And yeah, so there's the link. Let me go into YouTube and pin it. Give me a second. Okay, so this gotta go. Sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to find. Hold on. I just gotta grab this. I just gotta get this in. Because I want to pin it, the link. Okay. So, there it is. It's posted there. So if you would like to, come up here and let us know what purpose Black men's existence serve, then we can definitely do that, because I genuinely want to know. I don't believe they serve any purpose at all beyond genetic material, which that would only apply to women who wants to that would only apply to women who want to have children. It would only apply to them. So to me, if all you have to offer is genetic material, then you have nothing to offer. Hey, Ashley. Ashley. Okay, so when you guys come up here, if you could just make sure that you come up here and you're actually talking, that would be great. Sorry, I'm trying to, there we go. No, I wanted this to be yellow. I don't know why this brand color changed. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, Ashley. Ashley. All right, so anyway, let's go back to this Charlie Kirk situation, because this black woman here, She wrote this on her experience with Charlie Kirk. It says, journalist and college professor Stacy Patton goes viral for penning a stunningly powerful statement about how she was on Charlie Kirk's digital hit list and recounting the horror that he inflicted on her. So she said, I am on Charlie Kirk's hit list. His so-called professor watch list, run under the umbrella of Turning Point USA, is nothing more than a digital hit list for academics who dare to speak truth to power. I landed there in 2024 after writing commentary that inflamed the MAGA faithful. And once my name went up, the harassment machine roared to life. For weeks, my inbox and voicemail were deluged. Mostly white men spat venom through the phone, bitch, cunt, N-word. They threatened all manner of violence. They overwhelmed the university's PR lines and the president's office with calls demanding that I be fired. The flow was so relentless that the head of the campus security reached out to offer me an escort because they feared one of these keyboard soldiers might step out of his basement and come do me harm. And I am not unique. Kirk's watch list has terrorized legions of professors across this country, women, black faculty, queer scholars, basically anyone who challenged white supremacy gun culture or Christian nationalists suddenly found themselves target of coordinated abuse. Some received death threats, some had their jobs threatened, some left academia entirely. Kirk sent the loud message to us, speak the truth and we will unleash the mob. This is the culture of violence Charlie Kirk built. He normalized violence, he curated it, monetized it, and sicked it on anyone who dared to puncture his movement's lies. And now, in the wake of his shooting, there's all this national outpouring of mourning, moments of silence, yellow prayer hands, and tributes painting him as the civil debater. But the truth is that Kirk and his foot soldiers spent years terrorizing educators, trying to silence us with harassment and fear. And now the same violence he unleashed on others has come full circle. She said, but what I find especially jarring is the dissonance in public mourning for a smug white man whose life work was actively hostile to certain groups. Kirk spent years demonizing LGBTQ people, mocking gun violence, spewing racism about black folks, and pushing policies that literally shorten lives. It is so revolting to watch a bipartisan wave of grief sweep over this hateful racist as if he was a neutral community servant. Very well written. She said, I'm not mourning him, but I'm also, as a God-fearing woman, not going to rejoice that he's dead or make jokes out of it or say foul things. She spoke her piece and her truth eloquently, as she should. Not once did she say he got with what he deserved or call him an explicit. She stated facts. Okay. Okay, now I want to get to black men's existence and what does it serve, because there's a couple things I want to go over. All right, Daniel, after you connect to the audio, hopefully we can get you up here. You here?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. You?
I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, so what do you got for me?
Hey, it's funny that you had this topic because I was literally thinking about this like 2 days ago and like having a conversation in my head of what we might say. And my thought is, and I know you kind of don't like conspiracy theories, but I do. The purpose of black men, I kind of wonder sometimes if black men are more, and this may be, I guess, triggering or incendiary to some people. But I wonder if black men are like more, how would I say it, conducive to spirits, or like it could be used as like a conduit to some sort of spirits, or like universal energy or magic or demons or whatnot.
I think that might be true.
That's,
You
go
mean
ahead.
they're more
Go ahead.
do you mean they're more susceptible to demonic possession?
Right. And so I think other races, well, white men and women, like to have black men around to, I guess, take advantage of that. I guess there is a piece of evidence. I remember once Little Richie said that the white people would study like African beats and use it in their music, or because it like hit on some sort of, or activated some sort of base instinct in people. And so on a larger scale, I wonder if that is something that white men, well, and some black people take advantage of for, I guess you could say, nefarious purposes. Hey, can you still hear me? I think the audio may have cut, at least on my end.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was on mute. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'm so sorry I was on mute.
No problem. No problem.
But yeah, so what, like, in terms of the actual question though, what do you think black men's existence, what purpose do you think it served?
Now, obviously, I'm not saying this with any sort of, glee or enjoyment. I don't know if the black men serve a good purpose, but I in the currencies, it kind of seems like black men's purpose is to I guess almost act as like an amplifier of negative energy. Now, not for our good, but for the people who are at the top, the elite or whatnot.
Because see, for me, beyond genetic, this is the conclusion I've come to. Beyond genetic material for women who want to have babies, men don't really serve a purpose to women.
On a very surface level, I can agree with that.
What other level would it change if we were on a deeper level?
Well, just what I just said. I mean, obviously that's my speculation. I can't prove that, but that's just my belief.
Yeah, I think black men could serve a purpose to someone other than white men, but they just really don't want to, because they do serve a purpose. They just serve it to white men.
Right. Oh, and then let me tell you one other thing I thought about. Because I remember a couple of other times you said that women created men. And I thought, what if women did create men, but the purpose was to use men as a weapon against other women. And at some point it got out of hand, and then the men turned against the women as well. Like their own women.
Well, I would venture to say men have turned on women. You don't think they have?
No, they have. I'm just saying, like in my, as I call it, fan fiction, because you said women created men, and I could biologically, I could see that because in the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom, bacteria, whatever, um, you know, well, humans too, female is more important, and female does kind of seem like it came before male.
It's just a biological scientific fact that females came before males, because a female's genetics are dominant to males, and so therefore the male genetics cannot create female.
Right. And just from a practical standpoint, theoretically, if another woman was able to produce male gametes, she could deliver it to another woman's body, and a child could be born. But even if a man produced female reproductive cells, there would no way for the baby to be born. It makes sense.
No, it wouldn't be. But you do know they're out here trying to make artificial wombs and robot wombs to try and solidify their survival, because they know, like, they had to have known that there would be a point in time where women just didn't want to give birth anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Because they've been playing around with these. They've been playing around with these artificial wombs for a long time.
Right. And in my opinion, that'd be the true end of humanity. Because that'd just be too, to use your word, I'll start using it. That'll just be too degenerate, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it absolutely would. It won't be good for humanity, because if you're manufacturing humans in an incubator, it doesn't have a soul.
Right.
But the thing is, men are completely obsessed with being able to colonize reproduction, because they understand how huge of an ability that is. And so because they lack it, they want to prove that they're better than women, which they can't prove that they're better than women unless they're able to actually bring themselves into existence. As long as women have to bring them into existence, they can never be God. They can never be superior to her. They can never do anything, because you can't be superior to what you need to get to create you.
Right.
And so, really, that's just what it is as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, that sounds logical.
Let me see what Thoughts with Tanya. Thoughts with Tanya, are you connected to the audio?
I'm here.
Hey, girl.
Hey, how are you?
Good, you?
Good. I'm here. So am I echoing? No.
They'll let you know. Here, let me mute. They'll let you know in the chat box if you're echoing.
Okay. Exclusively says echoing. Yes. How do I stop?
Just go ahead and start, and I'll stay on mute.
Okay. What are black men here for? So in general, I believe that men are here as helpers to women. And I find it quite diabolical that men believe that the very vessels that they come from, the vessels that grow them, nurture them, give them life, build their whole body, the vessel that holds the portal to them even receiving a soul. I find it diabolical that they actually believe that they are to control, own, and take over the whole system of that vessel, that person, human.
Can I ask you a question, please? What do men help women with? What do they help us with?
They help us meet. They help us on the journey to the abyss of hell.
They help us with what?
They don't
They
help
don't
us
help
with
us with
anything
anything
but
but
get
to get
stressed.
stressed.
To get
Yeah, they
stressed out.
really don't. They don't do anything to help women. They don't benefit women. They're looking for women to take care of them. So there's no way they're going to go into a relationship anticipating what they can give to the woman when the reality is, like, they're there to take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no,
it's
it's
true.
true.
Because
Because
I
I
think
think
at the moment they don't help us. Okay, I've got this theory. So, you know how women create life and we nurture and we help life to evolve into what it's supposed to be. Men, they like to train dogs. They like to create hierarchy. They like to discipline and make sure things listen to them and do exactly what they think it should be done. I believe that's a projection on the way that they this is going to sound harsh, on the way that they should be handled, dealt with, and not in an extreme way to be evil or to be wicked to them, but they need to be disciplined. The same treatment, the same way that they deal with dogs and groom or nurture dogs, I think it's a projection of how they are supposed to be dealt with in a way, because they're not supposed to be leaders. And I think once they start to take accountability for who they are in the world or who they've been in the world, and start to accept who they are to be in the world, they're not going to be much help. They're not going to be any form of help that promotes evolution, that promotes growth within life itself. I think until they accept it and recognize that women are, I don't know what to say, in their world hierarchy, we are, I want to say these words, but they seem so intense. We are, I want to say, above them, but I don't even necessarily mean it I don't mean it in a terrible way, in a bad way. I mean, like I said, they're here to help us. They're here to protect us. They're more physical than us, and we are more spiritual. I think that they are not to be taking the stance that they're taking, and that's why we've got so much destruction in the world, because everything's been turned upside down, inside out. And like the gentleman before was saying, I believe that their vessels are weaker and more prone to demonic attacks and to demons attaching to them. That might sound intense, but hello.
Oh, sorry. I was sitting here.
yeah.
I was sitting here talking on mute because I was trying.
Okay.
I was trying to get rid of the echo that they said they're hearing. But the thing is that the thing is about it is that we men don't really do anything that we need. Whatever purpose they were supposed to serve in terms of helping us is not being served because they don't think that they should. But I don't think women need any help from men. And even if you look at men's creation story of themselves, it is them who was so codependent and ineffective that they needed a whole entire different species to be created into existence to help them figure out life, even though they were there first. According to them. According to them. They were there first, but they couldn't, unless they created a woman that was supposed to be a derivative of them. Mind you, they're actually a derivative of women.
Do you know, I agree with you. Through my own experience, through my own growth that I've been going through, certain things that I took time to learn how to take accountability, or learn how to take accountability for myself, but also place accountability on people that accountability needed to be placed on. I recognize how hard and difficult it can be to think one way and then be proven wrong, and then having to break down that construct to think another way. And I think everyone's going through this at the moment, but one of the things was with me and my dad, because I grew up with my dad, and having to see him as who he shows me he is was such a painful thing in a way, because it's a split between his light and his shadow, and having to step back and look and see and put accountability where it needed to be put was hard. And just me going through that, I can't even imagine what it would be like to have to take accountability for, or to look at yourself and see your truth, take accountability for the things that you have had a hand in the world that is so oppressive, but also to have to wake up from the lies that you had to tell yourself on a daily basis, looking at a woman every day, any woman, and telling yourself that that woman is weaker than you, that woman is has no right to life, that woman is beneath you, but being shown all the time that that's a lie, to then one day have to say, okay, that's true.
But here's the thing. But let's go down this road though.
Then can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Wow, loud and clear actually. Hey, give me 1 second.
So I think
just give me 1 second, Keisha, to finish this thought, and then I'll let you go, because the thought is going to slip out of my head in a minute. The thing is, though, women have not held men accountable for anything, really. Even nowadays, they don't. If a man cheats, it's the woman's fault. If the man have a side baby, she knew he was married. So somebody, in the minds of most women, women are the external cause of men's downfall. Therefore, they have no accountability. And really, it goes all the way back to the Bible, where Eve was blamed for Adam eating an apple that he knew he wasn't supposed to eat. She didn't, but he did know he wasn't supposed to eat it. But she was the blame of that. So therefore, because she did something that she didn't know not to do, and he did something that he did know not to do, she's the one who apparently brought in sin and caused the fall of men. So this goes literally back to the Bible. It literally goes back to the Bible. Blaming women for everything. Men don't have to take accountability for nothing. And I think that if women realized and understood that they are the reason why men don't take accountability for anything, because men don't have to find a scapegoat for their behavior. Women will find it for them. So until women start choosing to, number one, jump into reality and see men for who they are, and number two, stop blaming other people for what men do, then we're going to continue to have a problem. It's the same thing. It's the same mentality as these videos that we're seeing with side chicks either killing somebody or getting killed or whatever. Because we know now, we just saw within a week 2 stories where a black woman was killed at the hands of another woman because of a man. So when women sit here and engage in this behavior, they're helping to strip men from any accountability that he might feel, because they're too busy blaming someone or something else for men's behavior. So if we would stop giving them excuses, if we would stop treating them like they're a victim, like just attacking women, and it's not to anybody directly, although I was talking to like two of my sisters earlier, and one of them was talking about how, you know, she's like other women who think the side chick, if a side chick knew a man was married, then they will attack that side chick too. But it's like, that's a stupid faulty mentality. And I feel like it's the way black women think that leads them to not holding men accountable, because you're not going to hold a man accountable if you think the woman is to blame for him stepping out of his marriage with you. Even though he's doing the transgression, you're blaming it on somebody else. Chloe said they don't even take accountability when white males tell them to. Yeah, they don't want to. But go ahead, thoughts with Tanya. Or Keisha. No, you were trying to go Keisha, so go ahead.
You were talking about Keisha. That way.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so I want to start with just saying, you know, where it says where it says that God wants, you know, the kind of thing is life, the head of life is purpose, and the head of Christ is God. So that's kind of how, you know, the Bible says that men are to lead women.
Okay, can you say that again, because you cut out some. So do you mind saying that again?
Yeah, so the Bible says that.
Go ahead. I'm going to go on mute while you say it.
That says that the head of a wife is her husband, and the head of Christ is God. So that means that men are to be the leaders of women, right? It also says women should remain silent in the churches. They're not allowed to speak. So all of these things kind of tell us the natural roles of men and women. Now, in the Black community, Black men, they're fighting racism, they're fighting police brutality, and they're fighting courts that are against them.
Black men
try to provide. They try to protect.
I'm sorry. Black men are doing what? Keisha, what are black men trying to do?
How old are you, Keisha?
I'm trying to figure out what is it that black men are doing in the black community, because that's essentially what we came up here to discuss. Because if you can validate what purpose do black men's existence serve?
I said they're providing
what are they? Hold on, Keisha. What are they providing, and what are they protecting us from?
They're providing economically. They're providing financially.
They're not. They're not, Keisha. They don't even. Black men are not even employed enough to be financial providers. And when they are employed, they don't make enough money to be financial providers. So they're absolutely not providing.
Women have to give men. Women have to enable men to provide and lead.
Women have to what?
Women have to be the one to enable men to provide and to lead.
Why? If women are enabling men to provide and lead, then women are the leaders. If a man is a provider, then he doesn't need to rely on a woman for anything.
But how are they supposed to provide in a system that's rigged against them?
He'd pay child support for
How is the system rigged against him?
I mean, they are arrested a lot more than white men. They are killed by the police. You know, their education is bad.
And they're also killing black women faster than the police are killing them. Did you know that? Keisha? Keisha, did you know that black men are killing black women faster than racist police officers are killing them?
I didn't know that.
Whoever that person is, just tell them to join the conversation. Whoever that is in the background, just tell them to join the conversation.
Just tell them to join the conversation.
Yeah, whoever that is, just tell them to join the conversation. They obviously want to be in it. But at the end of the day, black men don't provide anything. Statistically, they don't even make enough money, nor are they employed enough to be providers. Also, statistically, black women are, statistically, black women are more likely to be the breadwinner of a home than a black man is. So I don't know where you're getting it from that black men are providers, but there's absolutely no proof that black men are providing anything.
And aren't we told by God to submit to our husbands, to submit to our men?
Okay, but you're the only one who follows the Bible. So you have to keep the Bible from over here. I don't follow the Bible unless you can hold on. Unless you can tangibly prove to me that the Bible that you're referencing that applies to a God that you're ultimately referencing, you have to prove that that God exists to me first. Before you quote the Bible, you first have to validate it for me. If you haven't validated it for me, then I don't want you to bring it up as a reference for me. I don't follow the Bible. I don't believe in the Bible. I'm not a Christian. I'm not a religious woman. So that's not a doctrine that I follow. I don't follow any Abrahamic religion, nor would I. So I need you to either validate hold on. First I need you to give me some tangible proof that this Bible is valid, or don't reference it.
I mean, it has thousands. There's been many.
I don't care. 10,000s of people. Here's the thing. Tens of thousands of people believing in a false doctrine does not mean it's not a false doctrine. So people being willing to believe in something that's untrue, like a bunch of kids believe in the Tooth Fairy, but that doesn't make it true. A lot of people believe in Santa Claus, but a fat man ain't jumping down nobody's chimney unless he's trying to commit suicide. So at the end of the day, people believing in something doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
But it's not just people believing in something. There is, some evidence. You can do your own research.
So what is it? Okay, what is it? Okay, no. You said there is evidence. So what is it? What is the evidence that it's been validated? What was this validated with? Send me whatever you got that validated the Bible. Send it to me. Oh, she left because she can't. Creative or thoughts with Tanya? Did you want to jump in?
Yeah, I just feel like she's young and she probably hasn't had much experience, or there is a man in her life that is wearing that mask and pretending that he is a provider, pretending that he is of some form of strength, and she's probably going off by whatever pretense that she's seeing because she's unaware of the fact that they are very good at gaslighting, pretending they are what they're not. And the thing is, they know they can tell you what's good and what they should be and what they should do, but when it comes to acting, putting it into action, the alignment just frazzles away, it disappears, and then it's replaced with gaslighting, because they can tell you, yeah, I should do this, and man should be like this, and I will do this for you, and I will do that for you. But when it comes to putting it into action, gaslighting replaces it. There's no action. There's only words. And I don't know what makes them recognize that these words are the correct words and these are things that should be done, but they just don't know how to do it. It's like, say you have the black community and you just picture a wall around the community, black men are that wall, and they just open the gate and they're like to everyone else, come in and loot our community, come and take whatever it is that you want. They are not protective. They do not show any form of protection. And even simple little things like this, real simple little things, that creates a bigger picture for me. When you look at the bouncers for clubs, when you look at white members clubs and anything where you need someone to stand and man the door, gatekeep for any other community, they're there. And they talk with so much respect, and they're so, I don't like to see it because I don't like to see the energy that they take on when they're around others that are not black. But then I also don't like the energy that they have towards black people, because then when you see them outside of a black club or, you know, manning any black gate, the way that they are is so disrespectful. It's so brutish sometimes, and they lack patience. But you put them anywhere else and you see the amount of groveling and kissing of the arse, and that goes to show a bigger picture. I think there's a much bigger picture to that, even though it's simple. It's just them manning some doors for other people, but you can tell by the way that they treat others and the way they treat their own community. And also when they talk about black people are like this, black people are like that, they don't see black women only as a tool. So they're basically talking about black men. There's so much projection that goes on with them, and the lack of awareness really shows, because they are so unaware of their hypocrisy, they're unaware of their lack, they're unaware of accountability, they're unaware of all the things that actually creates a protector and a provider. And in order for a protector and a provider, or a dominant, to be dominant, is they need to go through being submissive. And a lot of them, their fathers aren't around now. They're trying to learn how to be around for their own gain. But if they haven't had people in their life that they're willing to, that are going to give them commands and make them learn what it is to be submissive, when they're out there trying to run around, be dominant, of course you're going to cause harm. You're not going to do any good, because you don't have the empathy or compassion, because you haven't been in that place. You haven't been submissive to anyone. Well, they have been to, in regards to slavery, but that I think is quite different, because that kind of conditioning that black women went through as well. Every time the subject comes up, it's like, when they talk about it, especially, they forget that black women went through this with them. But that kind of
here's the thing. They don't care. Let me say one of these things, because I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to make sure the train keeps going. Black men don't care. They don't care about none of that, and it's because they don't have to care. Like they don't have to do anything. They don't have to provide anything. They don't have to perform. They don't have to prove anything. They simply have to exist. Because even when we talk about with children and black men not raising their kids, black women keep having kids by them though. So if you're going to take a derelict group of men who have never taken care of their kids, and your only response to it is to keep procreating with it, you're going to continue to have absentee fathers. So I think a large part of the issue that we as women don't look at is what we allow. And what we've allowed black men to do is contribute absolutely nothing, but get credit for doing absolutely everything. Literally doing things that black women were doing. Because now that we're in the same climate again, even though back in the 50s and 60s, pre-civil rights, we weren't around, but we are around now. We're around now where civil rights laws have been rolled back. They've already been reversed. Black men are doing absolutely nothing. But for the fact that someone would even come up here and say that black men provide and protect in a social climate where black men have all of the leeway right now to prove that they fight for their community, to prove that they protect their community, but they're not doing it. They're not doing anything. In fact, they're just sitting up on the internet talking about weave, welfare, and Section 8 as literally black people's rights get removed, as civil rights laws get reversed. Mind you, civil rights laws that they try to take credit for fighting. They try to take credit for fighting in the civil rights movement, but yet, as civil rights literally get rolled back, black men are doing what? They're doing what other than sitting on the internet? What are they doing?
Yeah. They're
And
seeking
no,
women
even
from other races.
yeah, they're going and laying up. They're attempting to go lay up with women of other races, but the reality of it is they're doing absolutely nothing except being cowards. Literally, as these groups of white people are like white supremacists are literally getting in groups making threats on the black community. But they always telling you about the Deacons of Defense and the Black Panthers. Why ain't they assembled yet?
Have you seen that? Have you seen that post? Oh, I don't know. I can't remember what state it is that Trump wants to bring in the
Memphis?
army. No, I can't remember. But there was
He
some.
said Chicago. He said he was going to do Chicago. He was going to do DC. And something just came out where he was saying he's going to send them into Memphis.
It might be Chicago. I can't really remember. I just saw this yesterday. I wasn't trying to listen to it too much. But he's saying that he's going to bring the army in. And some young black guy was saying that, don't bring them here because there's loads of gang members and we'll stand up and you don't bother come here. And there were so many other black men that were putting them down.
Oh, it's still echoing?
I don't know. But I think it might have been Chicago, but there were so many black men that were coming up and saying that basically, who do you think you are? You're not going to be able to do anything. You don't even know how to hold a gun and blah, blah, blah. And fair enough, they don't do anything. But even when a couple of them are trying to say something, there is so many, and I'm not standing up for them, but it's just to see that even if one of them tried to plant a seed, there are so many that are so protective over us being downtrodden that they will just fight against each other for no reason. Instead of standing up, they'll be the same ones that will complain and say, like, things are bad and where so much is happening to us. But as soon as someone tries to stand up, they bat them down. They don't like it. They don't want. It's almost like they don't want things to be better.
They don't.
Like they want to stay oppressed.
Well, thoughts with Tanya, they don't want stuff to be better because they're comfortable and they're already getting everything they want while it's not. So they don't really care. Creative, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, I think it's a whole load of BS that you guys are talking about. I'm a black man, and I'll be honest, none of what you guys are saying is applying to me. Just being honest, right?
Okay, Creative, that's fine. It doesn't have to apply to you. Do you know what that would make you be?
What exactly?
It would make you the exception. It wouldn't make us wrong because everything that we're saying can be statistically proven.
That's not true.
What's not true?
Well, because you mentioned that all of us are. Oh, sorry, I'm hearing an echo. Maybe from your side. Sorry. You mentioned that basically all of us are like committing crimes and we're derelict and how we're all.
That's not what I said. That's absolutely not what I said.
Did you not say the derelict part?
I said I didn't. Derelict didn't come out of my mind. What I said is that I need someone to answer the question for me of what purpose do black men's existence serve? Because from what I can see, it doesn't serve a purpose beyond destruction and causing chaos in the black community. Now, what you would do at this point is you would prove me wrong or you would concede that I'm right. So let me go on mute so you can either concede that I'm right or prove me wrong.
Okay, well, for sure. I would like to, well, point you towards basic statistics. I mean, you guys literally said that if we're not like causing destruction, or I think it was Tanya or you guys said that if we're not causing destruction, we're basically laying up with, I guess, non-black women or something like that, right? And I'm saying that not only are most black men with black women, but the ones that are making upwards of around $200,000 a year, the statistic is 90 to 95% of those men that are
Pull
with
up
black
the
women.
statistic because
No,
you're
no
not
problem.
true. Okay,
No
pull it
problem.
up and send it to me. And it can't be from blackdemographics.com. It has to be from a reputable source. No Wikipedia. But what you can do is get on ChatGPT and tell it to pull up all the reputable studies that shows that most black men are indeed doing what you say it's doing. And if the stat is out there, ChatGPT will pull it up for you. So go ahead. I'll go on mute and you can find me the information and proof.
Oh, no, no, I'll search it up in the background, but you guys can have it up on the.
What do you mean you're going to switch it up in the background? You said that I'm wrong. You said that I'm making false statements about black men. So then you would just prove that I'm making false statements, because the reality is I'm not making any false statements. Bottom line is most black men are degenerate. Most black men's existence serves absolutely no purpose at all. None. Vast majority of them are just literally taking up time and space and air.
Okay, but how do you quantify that? Like, what, you just made a claim. Is there any evidence behind that, or?
Yeah, you want me to tell you the evidence?
Sure, go ahead.
You can't name nothing they doing that's productive.
What are you talking about? I live amongst black men.
No one's asking about you personally. I'm talking about a group of black men, the collective, the general consensus of them, the vast majority of them. This is what this means. The vast majority, more than 50%, the vast majority of them.
Yeah,
not you as a personal individual black man. Of course, people can point to maybe 5 or 2 individual black men who are deviating from what the group is doing, but the collective is doing absolutely nothing worthwhile. So you can go ahead and either disprove that or concede. That's what you can do. Either disprove it or concede.
No, I'm gonna disprove it, of course.
Okay, so disprove it. Then disprove it.
Okay, well, 1 second. Let me actually screen record the stats. 1 second.
Just tell me what it is and I'll type in here and pull it up. Just tell me the name of whatever stat you're looking at.
Oh, am I seeing it? Yeah, go on Black Demographics. You'll see it.
So, like I said, Black Demographics is not a reputable source. I literally just said that. So why would you then quote Black Demographics for me? Did you not hear me say, and don't use Black Demographics because it's not a reputable source?
No, I haven't heard that. Sorry.
Okay, well, I'll say it again. You can't use Wikipedia. You can't use Black Demographics. What you can do is type into ChatGPT and tell it to pull up all of the studies from reputable sources that proves what you're saying. Because I can tell it to prove what I'm saying, and it'll pull up some articles for me.
Of course, but the thing is if I use ChatGPT and you use ChatGPT, it will basically coordinate our biases. So I'm gonna.
No, it won't. If the studies are there, it'll pull up the studies. If the studies are there, it will pull them up for you. If the studies are not there, it's not going to pull it up for you. It's that simple. So just go get the studies. And if you don't want to use ChatGPT, then just use Google. But pull it up.
All right. Well, I'll use Pew Research then. Is that fine for you?
Sure. Use Pew Research and then tell me what it is so I can pull it up and we can read it together.
Okay, it's called interracial marriage, and then you put the colon.
It's called you said it's called information on marriage?
No, can I link it so you can actually press on it?
Yeah, just put it in the back chat. Go ahead, just put it in the back chat.
There you go.
Okay, so interracial marriage. Who is married? Why are you sending me something on interracial marriage? What is this for?
No, because I'm going to show you that the majority of black men are actually married to black women.
The majority of black men are not married. So what you're doing is misinterpreting some data because you don't understand the data. What the data says is of the black men who are married, of the percentage of black men who are married, 89% of them are married to black women. Let me ask you a question. What percentage of black men are married?
I think around 20%, one fifth.
Right. So then why would you say most black men are married to black women then?
Well, because my initial argument was that those highly successful black men are not.
But that's not true. Here, let me show you what I was telling you I was going to do. I'll do what I was telling you I was going to do. And I'll do it and we can watch me do it. Because we going to ask it to pull up all the stats on who wealthy black men are most likely to marry. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and do that. Where is my StreamYard interface? Wait, this is weirding me out. It has to be on one of these tabs. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do what I was asking you to do. And we go into ChatGPT. And we go tell it to pull up all the reputable studies that tells us who wealthy black men are most likely today. Please pull up all reputable studies that shows who wealthy black men in the U.S. are most likely to marry.
And England too.
This says African American intimacy, the racial gap in marriage. This paper does specifically discuss marriage patterns of affluent black men. It said key finding among black men with higher socioeconomic status, a large majority still marry black men. Not all of them. Okay, that's fine. The study uses these patterns to explore how men's socioeconomic status and relative number of men and women affect marriage. So, if you look on here, it says that there is an increase over time in interracial marriages, but still the majority tend to marry within their race. Again, of the ones who get married, of the ones who get married. Of the ones who get married.
Of course, we understand that. I get it. That was
but this says of the ones who get married, which is the vast minority. So that would mean most black men are not. Most black men are not married to black women. Most black men are not married to black women. And hold on, the higher the education and success a black man has, the least likely he is to get married at all. The least likely he is to get married at all.
Listen, my original my original premise. Okay, go ahead.
Education is strongly correlated. Black men with more education are more likely to marry someone of a different race compared to less educated black men. Essence article, The Surprising Truth About Black Love by the Numbers, states that 83% of black men with an income of 100K or high, hold on, because the percentage of black men who have 100K income or higher, do you know what that percentage is?
It's low like every other race.
It's extremely low. Says that overall, about 15% of married black men, the general population, have spouses of another race. So regardless to what you're saying, this does not prove what you're trying to say it proves. It doesn't prove that it does not prove that most black men are married to black women. Okay, it's not proving that.
Okay, my premise was that a lot of these rich, affluent black men, they're married to black women. That was
No one said they weren't. No one
okay.
said
What
they
are you
weren't. So
complaining
what
about?
is your point?
What are you
No
complaining?
one said they weren't.
Okay,
So what is the point?
okay. So from now on, in your stream, I don't want to hear you talk about sleeping with Becky or anything like that because your point has been disproven. 83%, nothing to complain about.
If
Nothing.
you're willing to live by delusions,
It's,
then
I'm
you
not
do that.
respectfully. Hold on, you're from the UK, okay? Like,
Yeah.
I know that things work differently over there, and I kind of understand why because people prioritize their ethnic
It's
group.
not that different.
It is, and I'll tell you
No,
why.
it's not.
Hold on, Cynthia, can you the echo? It's hard to.
Let me mute.
Sorry about
Let
that.
me mute.
Sorry about that. Okay, I'll tell you this. In the UK, it works a little bit differently because a lot of people prioritize their ethnicity / religion versus their race. Like, for example, I've talked to a lot of people who identify as Somalis. A lot of them are much more comfortable being with someone who is from Yemen.
Can everybody go on mute while creative is talking? Everybody just go on mute while creative is talking so we can weed out any echo.
Sorry about that. So yeah, like I want to make the point. I'm saying in the UK, people value ethnicity and religion over race. Like, and I made the point saying that a Somali Muslim would feel much more comfortable being with someone who is the same religion, but of course a different race than, for example, a different religion and the same race. So in the UK, it works very differently as opposed to, for example, in America, where you do see interfaith relationships much more common amongst our ethnic group or our race.
So creative, here's the thing. Creative, you're not really saying anything because most people marry and date within their race. That's across the board of most people. So you're not really saying anything. You're not giving black men a brownie point. You're not giving them a cookie. You're not doing anything because black men are still, despite anything that you're saying, black men are still more likely to date out when they are wealthy. That hasn't changed. Can everybody please go on mute? They're still more likely to marry out when they have wealth. When they are educated, they're more likely to marry out. The vast majority of black men do not get married. So you're running this, you're waving this flag on literally the smallest percentage of black men for what? Just so that you can prove that some black men are willing to marry black women, and that says what? Let's just say 75%. Let's just say 75% of all black men, period, were married to black women. What would be your point?
Well, my point is, sorry, the echo, one second. Okay, yeah, my point, original premise was that because you guys keep bringing it back to, for example, who black men are laying with and who black men are doing this and who black men
No, you brought it to who they're laying with. No one brought it to who they're laying with but you. So I'll ask the question again and maybe you can actually answer it. The question is, what purpose do black men's existence serve? So what we set up here and said is we said what they're not. They're not loyal, they're not providers, they're not protectors. You said that we were lying. The only thing you came up here and proved was something that everybody already knew, which was that the majority of the small percentage of black men who marry black women. We've been known that. So can you now answer the actual question?
Yeah, sure, no problem. A lot of black men provide a multitude of different things. Not, of course, like for example, hold on.
Whatever you say, you need to prove it. Whatever you say, be ready to send some proof of it.
Okay, if you look at a specific suburban area called Flossmoor, Illinois, you actually see a lot more black men who are breadwinners, who are with black women.
Sir, here's the thing, sir. Those men in Flossmoor fit in the statistics, the small pool of black men who are providers, the tiny pool. Those men are already accounted for. So you're not telling us anything that the statistics haven't already told us. The bottom line is most black men are not providers. They are not, and they never have been. So let's take a walk down something that can pull up the chat. Let's walk it down. Please tell us the era in this country, in the U.S., in which black men, in the majority, were providers and protectors of their homes. And tell us the percentage of them. Tell us the percentage for each era based on data. In U.S. history. Because we know currently they're not providers, and you wouldn't be able to prove that. So we go to that. Let's get blunt and data anchored. You're asking when, if ever, were black men in the U.S. mostly providers and protectors in their households, and you want percentages by era. So, short answer, there has never been an era in the U.S. history when the majority of black men consistently functioned as stable providers and protectors of their homes. The reasons are structural. It'll say the reasons are structural. We don't care about the reasons. Bottom line is they weren't. So let's break it down by era, what that data can actually show. Slavery era. Reality, black men were largely property, denied marriage rights, and often sold away from families. Enslaved families were deliberately destabilized. Provider protector, effectively 0% in the formal sense. Enslaved men could not legally provide or protect. So we know between 1619 and 1865 they weren't protectors. Let's look at Reconstruction and Jim Crow. Reality, after emancipation, black marriage rates were very high. Many men did work as agricultural laborers, porters, and industrial workers, providing for families despite poverty. Limits, wages were suppressed, lynching and racial violence. So if they themselves are being lynched, then protection goes out the window because you ain't protecting yourself. So you might as well remove protection from anything that you're claiming black men ever done. They did not. They didn't. So black men could not reliably protect their families from external threats. Black women's labor was essential for survival. So you're not the sole provider and you damn sure ain't the protector. Let's go down. Provider and protector, 0%. Roughly 40 to 50% of black households had married couples with men as head providers. But women's labor was still crucial, so sole provider doesn't apply the way it did in white households. So they weren't providers then, they weren't providers during Reconstruction. Let's go post-World War II and Civil Rights era. Reality, this was the closest black men came to being majority providers. Industrial jobs opened, unions expanded, and the GI Bill, thoroughly discriminated through discriminatory, helped some black men enter middle class work. In 1960, about 64% of black children lived with two married parents. We already know that. They were married single mothers. That implies the majority of black men in those families were at least partial providers. It implies, not proves. So basically, we're just going to assume that because black men were in those homes, they were at least partial providers, but we don't have proof. Limits. Racism still blocked full economic parity. Black men's wages lagged behind white men and black women's labor remained higher than in white families. Provider protector percentage, about 50 to 60s, could be considered providers, breadwinners, or co-providers. Protection, however, was still undermined by systemic violence and police repression. Post-civil rights to mass incarceration. Still weren't doing it there. 25 to 35% of black men were functioning as consistent providers. So the only time you even had remotely one worth mentioning was during the post-Civil War era, and then you vastly declined when you got into the 1960s. Still no providers. Many were unemployed, incarcerated, or absent. 2000s to present, reality, black male unemployment remains consistently higher than natural averages. If you ain't got no job, how are you providing? What are you providing? Incarceration rates are still disproportionately high. As of 2020, only 30% of black children live with married parents. Provider protector percentage, about 25 to 30% of black men are intact households. They're only assuming that they're providing because they're in the homes, but they're not. There was never an era when black men reached the level of consistent provider protector status that white men did. So they're comparing it to other men, not women. No, they're not saying we're going to compare this to women. We're going to compare men to men here. You did not provide at the level of anybody. You were a subpar provider. Now let's ask another question. Which group of women by race are the most likely to be the sole provider of their home? We gonna put up their marital home, because that's what y'all hinging on. It's gonna be black women by race. The most relevant data comes from Pew's breakdown of family income by race, plus research from the Institute for Women's Policy. Black married women are most likely of any racial group to out-earn their husbands. About 26 to 30% of black wives earn more than their husbands, compared to 16%. This is tied to black women's higher labor force participation and higher likelihood of completing college than black men. So what were you saying black men provide again? Because statistically, they're more of a burden than a benefit. So go ahead, creative. You can respond now.
Hello, do you hear me? Okay, yeah, so I could definitely respond to that. One of the reasons why you see such a large disparity between black women and black men is because at the end of the day, those women are not picking the right black men. They're picking the hoodlums and basically the guys that are...
Okay, so we going to the pick right. Okay, how do you tell the difference between a black man who is a good black man and one who's not without counting attire? How do we tell, other than the clothes that they wear? How do we tell it just... Hold on. How do we tell it just by looking at him?
Just by looking?
Yes, just by looking at him. How do we tell if he's a good black man?
Well, no one can do that with any race of men. You have to.
So then why are you... Then how are they picking wrong? How are they picking wrong? Everybody pick visually first. That's what people respond to. Because you don't know a person until you know them. And that takes time. So when a person is picking someone, then you're basically saying we need to be able to eyeball a good black man. Wrong. Tell us how to eyeball a good black man.
Well, first of all, I didn't make that claim that you should be eyeballing.
You said you're picking wrong. You are. You're implying it when you say that the women are picking wrong. So tell us how to pick right.
Okay, well, no problem. Hold on. The echo, but okay. So as we'll say, the picking... I never mentioned the eyeball thing, but I'm saying usually when you are...
Sir, just tell us how to pick right. Like, you don't have to run around the block with it. You said we're picking wrong. Guide us into picking right.
First of all, I'm not saying that with all black women. Just putting that out there. I'm not...
For whoever. I don't care. If you're talking about two black women, then just tell those two black women how to pick right. Walk us down it.
No problem. So yeah, just go out on a date, and then like once you do actually get to know these people, like just ask them about their family, what's their religious.
And what if they lie?
Well, most don't lie. Most people don't lie.
No, most do lie. Most do lie.
How so?
Men admit that they lie. What are you talking about? Most don't lie. They do lie.
Okay,
most humans lie. What do you mean most don't lie? Do you have any data to back that up that most men don't lie?
You don't have data either, but I'm going off of my own experiences. Usually you can sift
I'm not asking about your experiences. I can't confirm your experiences. I don't know you from a can of paint. You're not even showing your face. There's no way I can confirm anything you're saying. Give me a statistic. Give me a statistic, a piece of data, something to validate what you're saying.
Okay, well, of course, I don't have any specific data, but I will talk about your first point, which is what you said. You said, how are you able to eyeball or basically find a good black man? I'm saying it's really easy to tell. Like, if he's sagging his pants, you don't really get with him. If he's showing that he's not able to actually have a good conversation and sifts it through bad intention, you can easily... like stop that from happening. You don't have to have a kid by him or even entertain him.
Okay, so the stuff that you're saying don't even make sense. I need you to repeat it because it just doesn't make sense. I'll go on mute while you repeat yourself.
Oh, yeah, sure, no problem. I said that basically go out on a date with that black man, ask him like questions, right? And if you're saying they're lying, fair enough.
Right, so I'm asking you, I go on a date with a black man, I ask him questions, and everything he tells me is a lie. And I don't find that out until 4 years down the road. Now what?
Well, that's an interesting scenario, but I don't think most people do that. Usually in 4 years you're able to actually
I'm not interested in what you think. I'm not interested in what you think. I want to know what's a fact, because based on here, it says people in romantic relationships lie quite frequently to their partners about feelings, minor false opinions, rather than major deceptions.
Yeah. You kind of contradicted yourself.
Lying to the one you love. The use of deception in romantic relationships. Found that 92% of people in romantic relationships admit having lied to their partner. Again, many of these lies they're saying are benign or intended to protect the partner's feelings or avoid conflict. But the reality is these are people in the relationship. I'm asking to get to the relationships. There is data suggesting men more often exaggerate feelings or misrepresent emotional commitment in order to facilitate sex. For example, a survey sample of college men, some admitting to overstating commitment or emotional investments to persuade or increase the likelihood of sexual relationships. For instance, falsely implying stronger feelings than actually felt was reported by women as having been done to them by men. So in one study, men admitted to lying most of the time, and in the other study, women admitted to getting lied to. So again, provide anything to substantiate your point. Just provide something that, let me share this screen so you can see what I had ChatGPT pull up. I had ChatGPT, I asked it to pull up all of the data that talks about men lying in order to get access to women. So this is what I said. Pull up any data or studies that show how often men lie to women in order to get access to them. But it's saying it can't find anything that precisely measure how often men lie to get access. It says below is what I found, what is known, and what remains unknown. So even in the findings, they obviously lie. The majority of them lie. Sexual deception, sexual conflict, various studies. There is data suggesting, well, we already did this with them lying to get sex out of women. What we don't know. No good large-scale study clearly defines the fraction of men who lie specifically with the intent of getting sexual access, or quantify that separately from other motives like preserving ego, appearing more attractive. Many studies rely on self-report, which tends to undercut lying because people don't always admit lying or blur motivations, which this is an issue with self-reported studies, is that people can lie. Motives are mixed. Attraction, appearance, fear of rejection, social pressure is hard in many studies to isolate access motive as primary. But we already know if they're lying for fear of rejection or social pressure or attraction, then they're lying so they can get access. It says rough estimates and implications based on what is found. A large majority of people in relationships, over 90%, admit to lying to romantic partners, though many lie they're small or considered white lies. Hello. Among online dating profiles, substantial proportions lie or exaggerate key traits. High age, appearance. I knew a dude, and I personally knew him, so I knew that when I went on his social media profile, nearly everything was a lie because I knew this man personally.
Okay, congratulations.
Perhaps 20 to 30% exaggeration rates in popular studies. In sexual emotional commitment context, one study described that 95% of a sample of 112 college men admitted to exaggerating emotional commitment in order to have sex. So they lie. So again, you're telling them they need to pick right. Now you need to address this very real issue.
I will.
I'm on a date with a man. I'm sitting across from him. I'm asking questions. He's lying. Now what?
Okay, first of all, the study actually mentioned that it's white lies, not that bold, nothing about real life.
White lies are subjective because it put on here, it said white lies and then listed height, appearance, and other things that people do not see as a white lie. To a person, if a man is lying
Well, that was
about his
before the
height,
study.
his weight,
That
and
wasn't the
stuff
first
that
study.
he does, that's not a white lie to people.
Hold on.
That's not a white lie to most
That
people.
wasn't the first one. The first one you mentioned was the white lie. The second bullet point was actually them lying about appearances and stuff like that. So that wasn't the same study. You were kind of mixing both of them up, right?
No, that was literally, I'm reading on the same page. It did describe another study, but it's
Yeah,
with the same question.
That's what I
But
said.
it's with the same question though.
Is it the same source?
Lying about, so here's the thing. Do you think men lie about having children?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Do you, okay, so yes, they do lie about having children. Do you think men lie about how many children they have?
Maybe. I don't know.
Do you think they lie about how many women they have the children by?
Possibly, yeah.
Are those white lies?
Well, again, like I said,
Those are pretty big lies to be
Yeah,
telling.
but I'm granting
If
that.
hold on. If a man has an addiction, if he doesn't tell you that he's addicted to something, is that a white lie?
Of course. And that's not a white lie at all.
Yeah, no, that's not a white lie. That's a huge lie, and that's some of the things that these men are out here lying about.
Well, that's not what it says in the study.
No, that's not what it says in this study.
Yep.
But in real life, this is what women are experiencing men are lying about. They will tell you themselves.
You're giving me your feelings. You're giving me your POV. That's not anything I can
Poll
say.
the people. Why don't you ask the people in the chat box? It's
Why would I
nearly
do that?
1,000 of them in here. Do your own study. It's nearly 1,000 of them in here. Ask the women and poll them how many of them was sitting down and getting to know a man only to find out years down the road that he was a lying ass bitch.
Hold on. First of all, if I do, I know for a fact there would be a strong bias in your comment section.
So you're gonna say that they're lying? You're gonna accuse them of lying?
No, but I'm going to say that if I'm going to poll people, it's going to be people from a much more bipartisan group, right? It's going to be from people that I find.
So you don't have no data. You are going by your personal experiences because you mentioned the people I know, the experiences I had. You have absolutely no data to back up anything except that the small amount of black men who get marry black women. And you're saying what?
Hold on, you're the one who actually.
You're calling the chat box bias, but you ain't proved nothing yet.
No, literally. Okay, be honest.
Okay, we gonna put you on pause. Truth, go ahead and jump in. We gonna put you on pause so somebody else can talk. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna prove absolutely nothing and then start talking about other people lying. The only people lying is you.
Hi, Sin. Hi.
Hi, Truth. How are you?
I'm okay, but I don't know how you bear listening to this. This is a black male that so coward, he actually was hiding behind a female. These are protectors. I really want black women globally to come to a point whereas you sit and realize that your ancestors were slaves, literally slaves. There's nothing about black men that is protect or provided. The fact that you're a slave means that they can't protect anything. Like, I don't understand why in 2025 black women are still this delusional. Like, there's so much things that is wrong with the world, but definitely black race, which I personally, I've been saying this for years, and I love the environment that we are all in right now. I would love for a race war to start. I would love for you've been muted. What's up?
So the reason I muted people isn't because I don't want y'all to talk. The reason I muted is because somebody is typing in the background while somebody else is talking, and it's causing feedback. But I wasn't even able to hear completely what you were trying to say because I kept hearing typing going on.
Can I
Okay,
ask you?
I'm gonna drop whoever's typing in the background.
Oh, that isn't it. But can I ask you something, Cynthia?
Sure.
Like, okay. Okay, let's just say I grant everything you say. We're the worst, worse than the devil, right? What is the alternative for black women? And I'm not saying that in bad faith. I'm saying this in like, do you hear me here?
There's a world full of men out there. What do you mean? What's next for black women? Are you insinuating that black women have no options outside of black men?
Not at all. Not at all.
So then, what was the point? Then what was the point in asking? Then what does that mean for black women? What do you mean?
Because I used to watch your videos before you got.
Hold on for a second.
Because black men are black women's natural counterparts.
Hold on. Yeah.
Who said black? Jay, was that you? They said black men are black women's natural counterparts?
Yeah.
No, black men are simply the defective product that black women refuse to stop giving birth to. That's what they are. But if black men felt like they were black women's natural counterparts, then why are they saying that they're not? Black men literally said white women are their natural counterparts. That's what many of them said.
They want that to be the case.
Okay, but if they want that to be the case, whose point does that prove ultimately?
Well, I'm just stating a fact. I don't care if they admit or not.
But even if black men are black women's natural counterpart, are you saying that to say that by virtue of existing, then black men already serve a purpose to black women?
Yeah, I mean,
no.
They're the fathers.
No, they're not the fathers. They're the sperm donors. They don't even take care of their kids. They abandon them and then get online and complain about having to pay child support for them. So what do you mean?
Well, why are you putting them on child support?
What? Obviously, because they're not voluntarily taking care of their kids. Like, y'all really convince yourself that women are going and putting men on child support who are just actively, voluntarily, financially providing for their kids? That's really what y'all believe?
I mean, yeah. I mean, some women look at having kids as a business. They want to get a pay cut.
Let's see pull up the data on black women receiving child support and see if we can validate you saying this statement. Because if black women don't even get child support, pull up the data on how often black women are paid child support and how much do they get. Let's see if you can validate this statistically.
I mean, they do this with foster care too. They run foster homes like a business.
Being a foster parent is a business. Like, what do you not know what you're saying? Normally, foster parents, you do know foster parents of all races get paid money to have foster children? You do know that, right?
But like putting 14 kids in a house is like exploiting the system, right?
Who's doing that?
Do you
even know the percentage of black women who are foster parents?
Not exactly right now.
Yeah, you don't. I didn't think you did. I didn't think you knew that. But you're making a statement and you don't even know what you're talking about. Now, we can ask ChatGPT to pull up the data on the percentage of black women who are foster parents if you would like for us to. Because that's trackable.
Or the percentage of foster parents that are black.
So let's look at this child support stats. Here's the best recent race-specific snapshot from official sources on black women, black custodial parents, and child support in the U.S. How often black custodial parents, because it's not based on gender, it's about who got the kid, have a child support order in place? 40%. 40% of black custodial parents, they're just saying parents, because while most black men aren't smart enough to know that child support ain't gender-based, ChatGPT knows that child support ain't gender-based. So that's why it's saying parents, because it knows that black women pay child support too. So 40% of custodial parents had a formal order. So not even the majority of them. Not even close to the majority of them. The majority of black custodial parents that we know is mostly black women don't even have a child support order out. Versus 57% for non-Hispanic white parents. So the ones most, they had nearly 60%. Majority of them, non-Hispanic white women, do go after child support. Black women do not. Across all custodial parents who are owed support in 2022, 70, this is of all of them. This is of all of them. How much black custodial parents receive annually? You mean to tell me $2,500 annually? $2,500 a year is worth having a kid? This is a business? Because $2,500 a year that your business done accumulated is not a business.
Yeah, those numbers are kind of hard to believe.
No one cares. Then pull up some different numbers then. Then you go pull up the numbers.
Okay.
I mean, that's
So that's about, hold on. That's about $215 a month for black custodial parents. Ain't nobody laying up and having no kid for $215 a month that they might get.
I mean, that's enough for car insurance.
It's not.
Okay.
How much of what they're owed they actually get? Black custodial parents collect about 53% of the support due. So now you got to cut this $215 in half. You got to cut this down to 53% of the amount of $215 because you ain't even get all of it. Context from the newest census. Mean supposed to receive 6,390. Mean actually received 4,000. 1 in 4 custodial parents who were owed received nothing. These figures set the baseline, and the race gaps above show black custodial parents do worse than the overall averages. Black women who are custodial parents are less likely to have a child support order. Less likely. Less likely. Meaning, they ain't as likely as your damn preference to go put your dumb ass on child support. They're less likely than your preference. Your preference is actually more likely to go drag your dumb, degenerate, absentee ass through the child support court and get child support. And guess what? You more likely to pay it too, because 65% of white women are getting their child support. So they're also less likely to receive payments once owed, and when they do receive support, they receive smaller amounts and a smaller share of what's due compared with white counterparts. The most concrete number, 40% with orders, $2,577 per year received on average, which is $215 a month, and 53% of what's actually collected. So you were saying black women are having children and running what other business? Because that's a pretty damn unprofitable business if you ask me. Ain't nobody running no business to maybe collect $2,500 a year. Are you insane?
I mean, black women can buy weave with $215.
And black men go out and buy Jordans while they sitting there in PS4s while they complain about providing for their kids. The cost of a pair of Jordans supersedes the cost of your child support.
Hold on, Cynthia. I just want one thing to be said. I'm not affiliated with that guy. That guy seems like a troll. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't know. Talking about weave and stuff like that. That's not.
I mean, that's just a joke.
Okay. All right, dude.
Listen, I don't care if a weave battling bandit come up here and mention weave and makeup. We already covered that black men are too cowardly to fight anything other than weave. So all he came up here to do is prove the point that the only thing black men want to hyper focus on is weave. We know that. They some weak ass bitches who focus on women's cosmetics to deflect from the fact that they are weak ass bitches. We know that. Because if you up here talking about $215 and some weave when white supremacists is targeting black people, you a weak ass bitch. And that's why they targeting them. Because they know you a weak ass, neutralized ass, castrated and neutered ass bitch. I'm sorry?
They killed their own. They can't target us.
If they wanted to, who go stop them? Because you sure ain't. Black men sure ain't. So if they don't want to, it's because they don't want to.
Well,
not because you ain't going to stop them.
We're ready. We're ready. In this household, we're ready. Okay. And last thing, Cynthia, before I leave, because I know it's getting late for you. The reason why I asked what the alternatives are is because I remember watching the channel back then, and we used to be kind of against interracial stuff. So it's hard for me to like understand what your point is. Do you want them to be single, like black women be single?
Why would they be single when, again, I said there's a world full of men out there who, quite frankly, have way more to offer than black men? Why would they be single?
No, you don't understand. I said that before you weren't against interracial relationships.
That's fine. That's fine. You're not responding to what I said in the past. You're responding to what I'm saying now.
Okay.
That's what you will be responding to. And the bottom line of it is,
okay.
Black women should completely walk away from the vast majority of black men until they do something worth dealing with them. I don't think black women should give birth to them. I don't think black women should have children with them. I don't think black women should interact with black men at all until they do better.
Hold on a second. Is it fair to say? Hold on. Is it fair to say that your stance kind of softened on the whole aborting black male situation and not interacting with black men at all, or are you agreeing with all of us? And every time you get a black male baby, you just abort that thing, regardless of whether the black man is good or not.
Listen, there's nothing that would make me use my womb to bring a black male into existence. It just will never happen.
What if it's a good black man? The guy you're interacting with is a good black man.
What is a good black man?
Okay, well,
you still haven't told us what a good black man is.
I told you, a guy that has his head on right, a guy that doesn't cheat.
No one knows what it means. No, what does it mean to have your head on right?
Okay, well,
we see everybody's head is on right. Okay. What should we look and see if his head is tilted to the side or not? Like, what does that? What does his head on right? What does that mean?
I was going to describe it. I said a guy that doesn't cheat, a guy that's, of course, faithful for religion specifically, because that's my preference.
Religious men are the worst, so we're not going to put religious in there because I don't know if you know it or not, but religious men cheat the most. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed or not.
Let's bring some stats into this because this is going to be very interesting. I don't know if you heard that before.
We already went over religious men and cheating. We already did.
I'm talking about stats. I'm going to bring up some stats for you.
Yeah, we already did.
No, I'm not talking about
men and cheating. Oh, you saying you're going to bring them up?
Yeah, I'm going to bring them up. Right?
Okay, go ahead.
Hold on. Because let me check my history. I don't want to give you a wrong one, but it's actually stated that a lot of black legacy Protestant men, the divorce rate is actually 9%. So that's what I'm saying when it comes to leaving your head on high, being faithful specifically to a religion.
Yeah, you still haven't told us what having your head on right means. I don't know what that means. So can you just tell it? What does that mean?
Being faithful, being respectful, actually honoring your wife, not actually being a.
And which black men do that? And which black men do that? And where do we find them?
Well, I mean, they're not. I don't know, like secluded in some place, but I'm sure you.
But if you don't know where they are, then how are you telling us we ain't picking the right ones? And you don't even know where they are. Tell us where they are. You have to, sure, if you know they're there, you have to know where they are.
Well, maybe.
How do you know they're there, but you just don't know where they are?
Well, go to church and stuff like that. Personally, I'm a Baptist, right? Perhaps go to.
What is making you think a church man is a good man? What is making you think that?
Well, because when we're looking at the divorce statistics, unfortunately, within the black community, it's pretty high, right? But
wait, are you measuring a good man on a man's ability to stay married?
Yes.
Men don't divorce. Men don't divorce. There's already studies that came out and said men are more likely to remain in a toxic relationship than women are. So men are codependent. So we already know they gonna stay in a relationship with a woman. They're codependent.
Toxic is because that means differently for a lot of people.
No one cares. That's irrelevant here. Bottom
It's not.
line is men rarely divorce. So what you're saying just can't possibly be true. Men don't divorce.
Okay, but I mean,
Men barely break up with women. Men are too cowardly to even break up with a woman. He'll go cheat and get a side chick when he can just literally break up with a woman. So
Okay.
what are you talking about?
Cynthia, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like you're
Church
correct.
men are degenerate. So
Okay.
church men are degenerate. I'll say it again. Church men are some of the biggest degenerates out there.
Okay,
Worst
not the
men
people
you could
I'm
ever
around.
find are going to be in church.
Not the people I'm around. Maybe the people you're around.
No one cares who you're around. Again, society statistics are not gathered based on who you're around. So stop mentioning who you're around. We literally do not care about anybody that you're around.
Okay, but
What-
you don't have
and
no
if
statistics.
and quite frankly, if the only people you can mention to us to validate your statement is people that you're around, then you might as well not mention it because we don't care. We ain't around the people that you're around. Stop telling us about it.
Hold on. I'm not talking about. I'm saying you don't have statistics to prove that. I've brought in the statistics
I don't have statistics to prove what.
to prove that black men who are Christians are the ones that are the worst. Whatever that means.
You do know that most people in this country that we're in are Christian, right?
Pardon me. Can you repeat that?
You do know that most people in this country that we're in are Christian, and that includes men, right?
That we're in.
Yes, that includes men, and most men in this country cheats. So that would by default mean most Christian men in this country cheats.
And that's why I pointed out legacy Protestant, because these people are much more conservative. When it comes
Protestant is still Christian.
I
Like,
said
what do you...
Protestant legacy. So we're talking Baptist.
Protestant is... What book do they refer to?
The Bible.
Right. So, again, they're Christians. Just say Christians.
Okay, but I'm saying
Why are you don't need to confuse it by saying Protestant, Methodist, Baptist. You don't need to do all that. Just say Christian.
The reason
they're
why
all
I'm
Christians
saying that is because there are some churches that are much more lenient as opposed to, for example, a Baptist, where they actually hold on to the scripture. There's going to have different doctrines.
Do you go church?
Yes, of course, yeah.
Do you listen to women and just other people when they talk about their experiences in relationships, or when they're saying something that doesn't suit what you want to hear, do you kind of block them out? Because that's what you've been doing the whole time.
I'm still.
There are so many.
I actually consider.
Tanya, I'm still stuck on the fact that he think a church man is a good man. You still haven't bridged the gap between church man and good man. I'm still trying to figure that out. What makes a church man automatically a good man?
Well, again, I pointed out to the divorce rate. It's only a 9% divorce rate.
I don't care. Nobody's measuring a good man by his ability to stay in a marriage.
Yeah, but
and if you don't hurry up and validate something that you're saying, I'm just gonna drop you off. Because so far you ain't validated nothing except that the small minority of black men who get married, the majority of them marry black women. And again, everybody already knew that. So prove something and give us some information that we don't know.
Okay, I've mentioned that only 9% of legacy Protestants actually get divorced. Black legacy Protestants, and
Black men use religion to keep black women in relationships and marriage. So that point doesn't even.
Okay.
It's not valid.
Miss Cynthia, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Hi. I just wanted to say I'm a huge fan of your channel, and there have been a few times where I wanted to jump in and just be like, okay, we got to cut this off.
I wish you would have, really.
So I get up, I'm an African American woman, and I get up every single day out of my bed and I go to work, okay? And one thing I can say in my experience as a black woman, not a man of another race, not a man trying to speak on behalf of other men, a black woman that goes out here in society and has to interact with others, including black men. They lack community with us. relationships, trash, and what I don't understand from a parenting perspective is how everyone makes the excuse of black fathers not being in the household for the black sons, but not being there for their daughters. And I think from the jump, it puts us at a disadvantage, you know. And then growing up as a black woman, seeing my mom as a single mom, you know, there's a lot that we take on as black women that we see others in other races they don't have to worry about. You know what I mean? Like there's a certain level of community and a certain level of awareness that they don't have to have, you know? And when you see all of the stuff going on online about, you know, people getting murdered and black femicide and things of that nature, it lowers the ceiling. Like it doesn't make it easier for us. So I'm just trying to figure out like why everybody's trying to act like they're Stevie Wonders of the bullshit when this is stuff that's literally happening in everyday life. Like, stop living your life online, like, and go outside, touch grass. You know, I have a job, so I go out here and I see that, you know, we're struggling as a community. We are.
Jules, everybody was already muted while she was talking. Like literally everybody's already muted. But I just really want somebody to come up here and tell me what purpose do black men serve, because I still ain't got no purpose that black men serve. Like even with that bandit coming up here, that bandit just came up here and basically said we were wrong. He couldn't prove us right, but he didn't really tell us what purpose black men's existence serves. So if someone could just come up and tell us what purpose do black men's existence serve, that would be great, because I got 7 more minutes. So if somebody could just tell us what purpose do their existence serve, that would be great.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Hi, yeah, I hear you.
Hi, been a fan for a long time, Sin. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And thanks for being a fan, and thanks for coming over as well and joining the discussion.
Of course, anytime. I'd love to hear your videos. But I was seriously thinking about your question, and I was thinking, oh, like maybe black women who want children, maybe that then black men could serve a purpose to them. But then I was thinking, no, because I could go get a white man or a mixed race man, and then that could also be a black child, technically. So I don't think they have any purpose.
You could also go into a sperm bank. I mean, the black sperm in there is limited, but there is some in there. But you could literally just go into a sperm bank if you wanted to.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like I always think about your topic, but this one I was just like, they really don't have a purpose. But
yeah,
also,
outside, but the thing is, we already covered genetic material for those who want to have babies. Like we said that in the beginning. Maybe we'll just say it now. What purpose do black men's existence serve beyond providing the genetic material for black women who want to have black babies?
They don't. But also, since I'm a Christian, and I think you've been like using the Bible wrong. I think you need to use the Bible like to further back up your arguments. Because I read the Bible like almost every day. I go to church almost every day. And in the Bible, like let's take Adam and Eve for the example. It says that Eve ate the fruit and then nothing happened. And then as soon as Adam ate the fruit, God came out of nowhere. Because like that commandment was never given to Eve. So it like doesn't matter. It's just like men blaming women.
To be honest, I don't even want anybody coming over here talking about the Bible, because they can't validate it. They can't prove that their God exists. They can't do anything. So all they're going to do is come bring up the Bible. And as soon as you tell them to prove that the God that their Bible is referencing exists, they're not going to be able to do it. They're not going to be able to do it. Black men running over here worshiping a white man, pretending that they doing something other than sucking off a white man. That all you doing is the same thing you've been doing, sucking off another white man in the form and just calling them God.
Yeah, and I was
Right.
gonna
I don't
say,
want to hear about the Bible over here, to be honest.
I was gonna say that too. Sin is that I was gonna say besides DNA and entertainment, basically Uncle Tom, Ruckus, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Because even if you take athletes, I think like you were saying in your previous live, it's just a modern day form of slavery. But you're just getting paid for it.
That's true too.
I just want to say one more thing and then I'll say bye. I feel like black men's purpose is to show black women their blind spots so that we can get back to being who we are supposed to be. And we are supposed to be very powerful and be able to exist without needing anyone but the source from inside of us. And they are definitely showing us that we need to look inside of ourselves rather than looking outside of ourselves to worship someone else, to worship these things, these men that actually don't serve us anything but pain. I think they are our karma for whatever we done spiritually in ancient times. They're definitely a manifestation of the karma that we have to learn to, I don't know, use to heal.
I don't think we did anything. I think our karma is kindness. I think because we were being nice to black men, we got in the situation that we're in.
No, we
Well, we did
absolutely,
something.
we absolutely did do something, and to think that we didn't do anything to the problem. But I just want to do a sidebar because that bandit was sitting up there talking about, oh, will the wealthy black men, the majority of them choose black women. He didn't even know the percentage, so I'm gonna tell you the percentage. According to Pew data, only 6% of black adults, that includes the men, only 6% of them earn 100K per year or more. Only 6% of them. And that's of all black people, not just black men. That's black men and black women. So if only 6% of black people earn 100K, it's not a flex. Even if that data is true, it's not a flex when you say, oh, well, most of the black men who make over 100K marry black women. Even if we were to do half of it, then that would be 3%. But we already know it's less than that because there's more black women than black men. So most of this black adults who earn 100,000 or more might not even be men.
But they also leave to go with white women after. They might marry black women in the beginning, and we see this with celebrities, and it's happening constantly. The proximity to whiteness. They might start off with a black woman because that's the ladder in their eyes, and then they swoop over to where they want to be.
The bottom line is whatever this dude came up here to prove, he didn't prove it. Black men are extremely disloyal, and that's not just evidenced by their desire to go marry and procreate with Beckishas. They're extremely disloyal. They're very treasonous, very violent, non-producing, non-productive. They have no resources for anybody. But people keep trying to come up here and say that black men were providers and protectors. How? When and how were black men providers and protectors? And then they try to act like they don't know how to get data. Literally, ChatGPT will pull up the data for you. All you got to do is type in the question. It'll pull up the data for you. And they want to sit here and act like this information is not out here. Bottom line is black men's existence serves zero purpose to the one who gives them their life. None. Everybody not benefiting off of black men but black women, yet you're the ones who risk your life to give birth to them. You are. You're the one who put them out here. But then they go and demean and degrade you and talk about all other groups of women are better than you. They don't want to marry you. They ain't interested in picking you, which is a benefit to you because why would you be being picked by them? But at the end of the day, it's just showing more and more how their existence serves no purpose to you. None.
Agreed. And not even respect, because even if, black men as a whole, they have their preferences, they can't even, show us any type of, they allow other races to come in and disrespect us because, you know, they hate themselves and their blackness, you know, and so they figure distancing themselves as far from us as possible and us being the butt of the joke is beneficial to them in some way.
They'll soon see. They'll
This
soon
is
see.
really more for black women than it is for black men. We already know black men are going to get triggered, but like I said before we even came live on YouTube, the reality is that sometimes black women need a question to be asked to them so their brain will start really asking questions. Because sometimes we don't even think about why it is that we do what we're doing. We kind of just do it. And if black women start thinking about why are we boy moms? Why do we prefer to have male children? Why are we such male identified male worshipers when these males' existence literally serves no benefit to us at all? It serves no benefit. And I think it's quite sad that black men can't tell you what purpose their existence serve, and neither can black women. But it's mostly important for black women to understand what purpose they serve because you're the one creating them. You're the one creating them and birthing them. Like, I would be mortified if I had a black male son and I'm looking, every time I look up, there's a black man degrading a black woman. I don't understand how black women with black sons do that. Like, it's like they have to psych themselves out. They have to lie to themselves. They would have to delude themselves to even be okay with this.
I think black women are male centered or want to be boy moms so much because of cultural brainwashing. Like, to me, it's that simple. Like, because that's the only thing that's ever been taught.
Right, but at what point does reality override whatever brainwashing you received? Because that's the thing. Like, people will run around saying brainwashing, and I really do believe that black people were brainwashed. I really do believe that. But I also think black people mostly possess the mindset, that faith-based mindset that's conducive to being brainwashed. So it's like, to me, it's just like you said, Jimmy J, cultural brainwashing doesn't override reality, and it shouldn't, because the bottom line is black women are experiencing the reality of who black men are. They're living it every single day. So there shouldn't be a piece of brainwashing that can make you think that bandits are not out here impregnating you with multiple children and then abandoning you.
Maybe it's gonna.
What is the brainwashing that's making you think that they not doing it when you literally experiencing being a single mother?
Maybe it's gonna legit take enough blood to die. Because for me, it only took you presenting evidence when I was like 21, 22, or 23 years old. I'm 29 now. And it took me being around other cultures of other people to see, oh, like these, I've been around a lot of Asians. These Asian women got it really good. Like the way their men act, they got it really good. They're still men, but for the most part, they got it good. So maybe it's going to take literally your cousin dying for you to see the truth. Your mom dying, your sister dying. Maybe that's what it's going to take. It's sad, but it's true.
But that would mean that essentially Charlie Kirk was right about black women. That's what that would mean. If that's what black women need, then that would lend some validity to what Charlie Kirk was saying about black women's brains.
But we already knew that because when you were going over the Moynihan report, it was saying that the Moynihan, right, man, he had a prediction that black women would turn away from black men. And you said that they doubled down and they went like harder for black men. So we already knew that. You already said that.
Yeah, but the problem with, I think the problem with black women goes beyond brainwashing. I think it goes beyond brainwashing. I really do. Because it's like, yeah, like how long are we gonna sit here and continue to say brainwashing? And if it's brainwashing, who's doing the cultural brainwashing?
Women, because women carry the culture.
You said women?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. Absolutely.
I also think a part of it is that at any expense, you have a certain group of black women that are going to be like, in
Just
my
like the
opinion, probably the ones that are like, yeah, I'm a boy mom. They will try to save the black race at any expense. So you'll
But
have ones.
having babies in a system that you believe targets them and that their father is going to abandon, that's not how you save the black community. That's how you doom the black community to generations of dysfunctional cycles. So it doesn't, like, if that's their thought process, then that's pretty delusional. You're not saving the black community while birthing them into this nastiness. That's not you saving the black community. All black women are really doing is continuing on perpetuating generations of psychological trauma.
Correct.
What
And
if it's
generational
birthing
trauma.
to be
That's all they do.
picked? Birthing to be picked, even if
By a
it's by the
bandit.
son. Yeah.
Let's see what Al has to say, and then I need to get out of here.
Great. Once, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Only thing I want to add, short, simple. The only true sin is the abuse of power. What the original wombs did, seeing and knowing that they were functional hermaphrodites, is that we had sex with our creation. That was the original sin. We created something that was unable to reproduce on its own, something that was already deficient from the get, and we chose to have sex with it.
So
all of this is repercussions of what we did.
So hold on, loved one, because I've heard a lot of different theories on the origins of how males came about, and I haven't heard the one that you're positing where black women had sex with their creation. So can you walk us through that? Because I've never heard that.
Okay, so when you study the womb's anatomy and physiology, we have within us what is called the e-poofer room and the poofer room. Okay, the e-poofer room is dormant. Dormant just means asleep. It doesn't mean gone. It doesn't mean void of. It just means asleep. We are still hermaphrodites that are not functioning because we haven't collectively, via individually, chosen to reactivate that source within us.
Oh,
Men
so you're talking
only
about the ability? Are you talking about the ability to create through parthenogenesis? Yeah.
Exactly. Men do not have the capability of parthenogenesis because they do not have a womb. Okay. They are the XY, not the XX. They have to seek us out in order to pass on genetic material. Okay. Which, by reason of deduction and reverse engineering, in order for them to exist, we birthed them, we created them, and then we propagated more of them by having sex with them. Why were we, the creators, having sex with our creation? That was an abuse of power. That's the only true sin. We abuse our power. Instead of allowing that creation to be whatever it was that we called it forth to be, we then thus jumped upon a creation that essentially during that time set was the newborn. There isn't any data that can pinpoint how long we were here, because we were here for so many eons. There's no way to say, oh, y'all only been here for 500 million years. There is no proof to say how long we were here. We, womb eternal.
Right, but how do we know in the beginning they came from us anyway? Like, how do we know that they're indeed our creation?
Because the proof is in the pudding. There isn't any hue, H-U-E, there isn't any hue of any man that does not have a belly button. The proof is in the pudding. Men cannot propagate themselves, let alone us. But yet we have the capability to propagate both of them.
Right, but I'm just saying they might have been created by something else, though. They could have just been created by something else.
But I'm not. Only thing that I'm going to say against that is that there isn't any proof of that. But we have still in this day proof that they cannot propagate themselves on their own and that we can propagate both sexes. So I'm not going to go outside and say it was something else when that something else still had to be birthed. And there hasn't been any physical proof that has, that's yet to be revealed to the contrary. That's all my point is.
That's fine if we're, I mean, really, the only thing we can really prove is that what you said right now is that women can propagate birth genders. That's the only thing we can actually prove. But none of the evolution, none of like, we can't prove that males came from a mutated XX chromosome. We don't have, what is the proof that we have of that?
No. When you said mutated XX chromosome, what do you meaning that the womb itself was a mutation?
Yeah, so the anthropological reasoning behind how males were created is a mutated gene. Hold on, let me just have ChatGPT explain it really quickly. Please.
No, I agree with that. I already know the info.
How males were created. Just
Yeah, the XY is a mutation of the XX. I already know that. I agree with that.
I'm just gonna say thank you for having me on, Cynthia. I love your show.
Yeah, it's just saying males exist because of a mutation on the Y chromosome, the SRY gene that pushes development down a male path. Which I'm saying, like, we can't prove that billions of years ago life reproduced by simply splitting. So it says billions of years ago, life reproduced by simply splitting, asexual reproduction. No males or females existed. That doesn't make any sense because then there would be no reproduction. It says around 1 to 2 billion years ago, some single cell organisms developed sexual reproduction. Instead of cloning themselves, they mix genes with others. So this is what I'm saying. Do we have evidence of this? Because this is the most commonly known origin of man, is that they mutated from the female XX. But
that still is in agreement with what I originally said. That they came from us.
I know, but I'm just saying we don't even have any evidence of that. Evolution is a theory. But we don't necessarily have concrete evidence that males come from a mutation of the XX chromosome. We really don't have proof of that, though.
Well, we kind of do, though. When within the first trimester, the different images, the different the looking at the embryos in the first trimester, they are
but when you
female.
look at them, you don't see a mutated gene, though. But just looking at them is not, simply looking at a male in the womb, a male fetus in the womb, isn't going to be evidence that in order for that male to be a male, the XY gene mutated. Like, we don't have that evidence by looking at an ultrasound or a child in the womb. We don't have that at all. We don't.
No, not by looking at it, but by genetically studying the sequences of it, of the DNA. Not by physical sight, but by microscopic and genetic testing.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll just concede to let you have it because I don't know.
All I'm saying is we abuse our powers as creators. Whatever the fracture was within us. You can still see that today in today's modern age where the wombs do not want to collectively be with each other. And that has nothing to do with sex. Okay. Collectively, we battle amongst each other. You can have 100 women in the room together. We can be doing each other hair. We could be doing each other nails. We can be cooking with each other. We can be making clothes. We could be doing dances and music. Let one man walk in that room and the claws will come out. Okay. That's all. That proof is still in the pudding. It's still being shown.
But isn't that more of like a low self-esteem, self-value issue than anything
And
else?
which still agrees with what I just said, that the fracture is within us.
Well,
The
yeah, and
fracture
you're
is with, yeah.
absolutely you're absolutely right on that. Like I would hope nobody in here would disagree with that. I definitely believe that the
Yeah,
fracture
the
started
fracture
with
is
women.
within us, and they are just a representation of the depth of the severity of that fracture. That's just what I feel like they physically embody.
I mean, but the fracture would have to start with us because the way that they get into existence is through us. So there's no possible way we can stop. We can say, well, this doesn't have anything to do with us. Yeah, it does. We've helped to perpetuate this. Again, you still have women today helping to perpetuate it, being male identified, attacking women over men, blaming women for the things that men do, not holding men accountable. Like a huge portion of it is women, because if women weren't helping to facilitate patriarchy wouldn't exist. If women weren't willing to birth in and raise their males to have patriarchal mindsets, patriarchy likely wouldn't exist, because at the end of the day, women are molding the minds of the children. Even though parental influence is not as impactful and meaningful as cultural and peer influence, even with those being facts, women still instill patriarchal and misogynistic sentiments into their sons. That's what I do know. I do know we see videos with specifically black women saying, "Oh, I teach my son not to provide for women. He don't need to provide for a woman." So these are what women are doing. Women are helping to create the males that they don't like. They are doing it. It just is what it is. And I think if women don't recognize that we are taking a huge part in this, that we do play a huge essential role in this, if we don't recognize that, then if we don't recognize where we went wrong and how we got here, how can we do anything else to make sure we don't end up here again? And that's why we're here again. That's literally why we're here again. It's because we are not seeing where we're helping to facilitate this. Like, after the women's suffrage movement, women shouldn't have rushed and voluntarily got into relationships with men and start chasing them for relationships. It's like, you just fought these men to get your rights, and then you jump into relationships with them. You jump into voluntary servitude with them. You jump into relationships and start popping out their kids, even though they had literally just stripped you of all your rights. That's a problem. That's a problem. But y'all, I need to get off of here. I should have been left. I literally should have been left. I'm sorry, Sierra. There's not enough time. Huh?
Have a good day. Bye.
Thanks. Bye, y'all. I have to go. I really do. I should have left a long time ago, but I have to go. So bye.